Allow the children
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary ayé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Ẹ̀sìn ló bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa mi. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. If you're watching it live. Brethren, welcome to the Temple of Truth again. And no matter how far a lie travels, the truth can catch up within just minutes of moving, which is what the Temple of Truth is always all about. The Temple of Uncomfortable Truth. Here we are. After reading the caption of this broadcast, I sort of implore you to please read the description of the broadcast as well. Like the broadcast. Then share it. To invite your friends and your not so friendly friends, tell them all that Mayegun is live. And if you have done that already, again, thank you. So, tonight, we are continuing from the Elruffy, the Kaduna Little Fingers escapade. I'm talking about his newly formed role of, opposition to Thiefnubu. The same Thiefnubu that they danced their Buga together in London after their show of shame at the Chatham House in London in December 2022. Teamship, remember? Then Elruffy, who has been pretty much like singing on how to bring together opposition in Nigeria to come together, strengthen themselves, and then go on and remove Thiefnubu. Elruffy, the guy who once on the side of Thiefnubu, God knows what really transpired, by the way. However, Elruffy, Kaduna Little Finger, the Southern Kaduna Adolf Hitler, or Ruffy, as some will call him. Before now, one of the reasons why Thiefnubu is unpopular in Nigeria when it comes to any former or present, leader in that contraption. The reason why Thiefnubu is not really popular is because of his history, antecedents. Of course, lack of integrity or character, because Thiefnubu is a criminal. Thiefnubu is known to be a drug lord. In fact, it is not new, but because Nigeria is Nigeria, where, criminals are pretty much, well rewarded in that place. Thiefnubu is a drug runner, apart from the fact that Thiefnubu is a drug addict himself, verified, certified drug addict. He is also a drug runner, which is also a certified drug runner. We call him a drug baron. Thiefnubu forged. Everything about him is lie. Everything about Thiefnubu is lie, except the truth of him being a drug lord. Thiefnubu forged his own certificate, school certificate. And it is not new again. It's always been discovered, but the system has always been like shielded him. So Thiefnubu the kleptomaniac, the treasury looter, Thiefnubu the druggie, Thiefnubu the addict, ended up being the the guy who twisted the entire APC to get their tickets, only to bring on board Elruffy, the Kaduna Little Finger, a jihadist, a terrorist sympathizer, a terrorist sponsor himself. Elruffy, the Kaduna Little Finger. So Elruffy championed the Thiefnubu's presidency or presidential ambition in the last minutes, where even when all evidence were flying left, right, and center of Thiefnubu's past, even present at the time, to them it doesn't really matter. Thiefnubu is a Muslim, and since they were promoting Muslim tickets and God knows what else, right? Elruffy, the Fulani terrorist who was a governor of Kaduna himself, Elruffy championed the Thiefnubu Sote. He actually kidnapped people who opposed Thiefnubu's candidacy in Kaduna. That is also a fact. But everything went south, like everything sort of like changed the moment Thiefnubu became the INEC president of Nigeria. He betrayed his supposed closest enemy of Elruffy. Everything went so fast and so dark that by the time Elruffy would wake up, he discovered that he has been used and dumped. Used and dumped, lost on both ways. Like he lost the chance of being still in power, right? Like Wike with Thiefnubu right now, the way Wike is acting. Then he also lost his base where he installed his own stooge, Ubasani, who has reneged on the toxic, murderous ways of Elruffy by reconciling his own people in that Kaduna. At the same time, he also stopped the advancement of the Fulani jihadists, which has become a state-sponsored terrorism in Kaduna. All of these are contrary to what Elruffy represents or stands for today. Elruffy is now on the other side to start with, and is now a champion of a better Nigeria because Thiefnubu has disappointed them. But the shocker of all of this is the fact that Elruffy granted a BBC interview. And in that interview, Elruffy said they were pretty much aware, these jihadists, these fake Islamists, they were aware of Thiefnubu's criminality, Thiefnubu's ways. In Chicago, he said it. He said, we were aware of Thiefnubu's drug dealing, certificate forgery, but we didn't care. We wanted him to come and replicate what he did in Lagos. I'm like, what did he do in Lagos? Because this is the lie they've pushed so much that they started believing in, right? What did Thiefnubu do in Lagos that you wanted him to replicate in Nigeria? Well, maybe you are not aware. Whatever he did in Lagos that they lied to you about is what he's now replicating all over Nigeria. So Elruffy is now saying that he is praying that an infidel like Peter Obi will join his party, SDP. His brother Atiku will join the SDP. And other names he mentioned that he is praying, not open, he is praying they will join him so that they can remove this druggie, they can remove this certificate forger. Unfortunately for Elruffy, right, in what Yoruba called OJ, Atito Jebolo Shalowo, Owakubabanla Enitomabo, simply or loosely translated as Thiefnubu has managed to get to the highest office in the land as your president. Now, the rest of you will think you made him that president, like Elruffy currently postulating. The sad truth is that we are now going to wait for the forefathers or your grandfather or the fathers of those who are going to remove the OJ, to remove him from that power. That's what they call the attitude Jebolo Shalowa. So Thiefnubu and his gang, it doesn't really matter anymore. The Supreme Court of Injustice of that contraption has validated the fraud, validated the rigging, validated Thiefnubu's forgery, validated Thiefnubu's drug dealing past, and all of this in the face of this contraptions law, they are no longer crimes. So Elruffy is arriving at the party late, and that is why when one of our callers last night said, do you even believe that Elruffy and Thiefnubu are fighting? I don't. I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? Now this is in Hausa, so I'm going to play this clip for you. This is where we're going to start this evening, okay? Then from there, we will touch others, including the drama that took place in River State, Abalama. I wanted to say Alabama. Abalama, in River State. We'll get to that a lot tonight. So let's start with this. Ahmed, Garba Life, Latu Aruna, and few of you like Innocent Obi who understand Hausa, you can help my viewers to understand what this guy is saying. I'll come back and tell you what he's saying, by the way, but for the record, please watch this.
Amma fata na da addu'a na shine duk shugabannin adawa, mai girma Atiku Abubakar, mai girma Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, Rauf Aregbesola, kai duk ma shugabannin adawa gaba ɗaya. Fata na shine su zo mu shiga jam'iyyar SDP mu sake yin wata APC din. Abin da ke ɓata min rai ba ma da na sani bane shine gwamnatin da muka ba goyon baya wanda muke da yaƙinin za ta yi tasiri, za ta yi abin kirki. Domin duba abin da Tinubu ya a Lagos. Muka ce duk da matsalolin shi duk mun sani cewa ai Chicago da me duk wayannan abubuwan kowa yana da masafiya, amma muka ce look in dai zai irin aikin da ya gyara Lagos a Najeriya, alhamdulillah mu ba shi goyon baya. To ya kasa, ya gaza.
Kana kan bakanka na wannan magana babu wani dattijo a arewa?
A'a, ba cewa na yi babu wani dattijo a arewa ba. Ni na san mutanen da nake magana. Ba dattijai ba ne 'yan siyasa ne. Kuma kuɗi suke karɓa su bi wannan ɗan takara ko su bi wannan jam'iyya. Ba don Allah ba, ba don arewan ba. Ni na sani.
Sartsan harshe ne ke.
Ka gane? Ka gane ko? Now, a lokacin ne magana na shekara na 62. Ko ina a duniya wanda kai shekara 62 ya zama dattijo. Dan kai shekaran ka 80, ni ba dattijo bane, kai ne dattijo. Kuma ni na fi ka gaskiya a area biyu. Na farko, ni na ba da kai na ma al'umma su zaɓe ni su ban ƙuri'a. Kai baka taɓa yi ba, baka iya ba. Baka taɓa cin zaɓe ba. Kai ne kawai kace kai shugaban arewa ne, wa ya sa ka? Wa ya zaɓe ka?
Baka tunanin sun hango.
Ina zuwa. Na biyu, na yi aikin gwamnati. Kai wasunsu sun yi, na san abubuwan da suka yi aikin gwamnati. Dan da wayanmu suka yi. Na yi aikin gwamnati, kuma ni na san yadda na yi ƙoƙarin riƙe gaskiya a aikina da kuma advancing interest ɗin arewan da suke magana. Sai ka fito ka ce a'a abin in dattijan arewa ne tsakaninsu da Allah na gaskiya, ai ya kamata su tsaya su ce gaskiya bayan shekara 8 na Buhari mulki ya koma kudu. Haka dattijan arewa zai tunani.
Amma ka san an ce shi dattijo na da hangen nesa. Baka tunanin wannan abin da kake da na sani suka hango?
Ba abin da suka hango. Dan Tinubu ba su kuɗi bane lokacin da sun canza sun ce a yi shi.
To yanzu
mun san halin su, mun san su sarai.
To yanzu ka shiga jam'iyyar SDP. Baka tunanin kana buƙatar su?
Wallahi ni al'umma nake bukata in yi magana.
Za ka yi takara?
Ban sani ba. Ai ba ni ne zan ce zan takara ba. Jami'iya ce da mutane su ne za su ce ka zo kai takarar wannan ko wannan. Ko takarar da na yi na baya na gwamna, ai mutane ne suka je suka samu Buhari suka yi convincing din shi ya kira ne ya ce ka je kai takara. Kuma ni ban ma so in yi ba domin ni ban taɓa takara ban iya ba.
Wataƙila tsohon mataimakin shugaban Najeriya Alhaji Atiku Abubakar na ciki. Ana ganin cewar a baya kamar kai masa butulci irin na siyasa. Yanzu kuma sai gashi ana ganin ku a tare haka.
Well, Vice President Atiku Abubakar mun yi aiki da shi, kuma na ji daɗin aiki da shi, kuma I believe ya yi babban gudunmawa a shugabancin Najeriya. Amma ni ban taɓa mishi wani butulcin siyasa ba, because siyasa wata haɗa mu, aiki ya haɗa mu. Amma a cikin aiki idan na gaya ba daidai ba, ko shi wane ne, zan gaya mishi.
Kamar
na gaya ma Buhari, na rubuta mishi.
Nuisance lele.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point if majority of us don't understand what he's saying, right? So I can just give you the summary. Thank you very much, Milady Latu, for that. So according to Elruffy, they are at the stage called the buyer's remorse. Whatever it was that he expected from Thiefnubu, at this point, it is like a buyer's remorse. They sold the idea of Mumu ticket to the gullible wankers in that northern Nigeria. Meanwhile, they knew that this whole thing is never about the people, it's just about themselves. And most importantly, it's about power. At the moment they cannot have a seat at that table, the right thing to do for them is to scatter the entire table. So Elruffy is praying to Allah to please convince Allah to bring Rotifni, Amechi, Ubima Judas Iscariot, Aregbe Mogbana Baba Kabiru, as well as Satifku and Obi an infidel, because that was what he said. Elruffy, less than 2 years ago, when he said, never again would any infidel want to try to shortchange them. He was referring to Peter Obi, shortchange them to gain power, that the Muslims will rule Nigeria for the next 50 years. And for Kaduna, for the next 20 years uninterrupted. All of this, he has now swallowed to begin to call on his old friends and drop names. He said he didn't betray Atifku because it was Atifku that actually brought him into Obasanjo's government, by the way, as well as Garbage Shehu, Elruffy. These were products of Atifku. At the end of the day, Atifku was abandoned in what political pundit calls betrayed. Elruffy said he didn't betray Atifku, right? And right now he is praying for them to all come together so that they can remove this Thiefnubu in less than 2 years. But the antecedent of Elruffy, the Kaduna little finger, the evil man that I would never stop reminding you of how evil Elruffy was. I'm talking about, see, this is a man that was supposed to actually be standing trial in the Hague right now, since the system in Nigeria possibly won't try him. This guy was supposed to be standing trial for terrorism, genocide, ethnic cleansing, religious, killings, and all of that stuff that this guy represented. Still represent though. In one interview, because he's been all over the place lately, everybody, if he sees anyone walking about with a microphone, there's a chance that Elruffy will call you and say, I want to say something. He was on another Hausa Hausa sort of platform, where he said, Ribadombu, his old-time friend, is planning to jail him. It was Ribadombu and some of his own friends that are behind the reporting of Elruffy to the international body probing the killings in southern Kaduna and in northwest, in the northwest central of Nigeria. Elruffy is indicted, but he is pointing fingers at Ribadom. Listen to this.
Kowa ya sani wani lauya ɗan Kaduna a ofis ɗin shi Nuhu Ribadu da wasu mutane aka zauna aka rubuta petition. Wasu mutane suna cewa a'a yan kan ne suka yi petition, yan kudancin Kaduna ne, wanda ana ɗauka alhakin su, ba su bane. Kan ba su wani petition kaina, yan kudancin Kaduna ba su wani petition kaina ba, yan shi'a ne suka yi petition, mutanen alzazzaki. Kuma a nan Abuja a ofis ɗin wani lauya ɗan Kaduna aka rubuta petition ɗin. Nuhu ya sa aka rubuta, aka ɗauka, aka kai, aka ce SSS su rubuta report, suka ki. Former DG SSS yana da rai, zai iya faɗa yin ƙarya ne. Suka ce ba za su yi ba, domin sun riga sun yi clearing ya. Kafin ka je Senate, kafin a tura sunan kaminsa, sai shugaban ƙasa ya tura sunaye, ai muku security clearance. Ai ba wani security abu da yake fitowa bayan ka je Senate. Sai an muku security clearance. Wannan ministry abu sau biyu ina yi ko? 2003 an yi mun, na sayar da aka yi. Kafin in je Senate din ma sai da na je SSS, na ga director ya ce mun ranka daɗe ka tafi ba wani abu, ai kai mun san ka, muna da file ɗinka, ka taɓa yin wannan kaza ka tafi ba wani abu, you are cleared. I have been cleared by SSS. a office din Nuhu ba da aka rubuta wannan wasiƙan aka tura ma National Assembly cewa I putting abun nan ina on hold domin akwai security issues. What are the security issues? A fito a faɗa mana har yau an faɗa. Saboda tsarin su ne sun domin son kansu kuma ni yayi min daidai.
Nuisance lele.
That thing really pained him, that he got humiliated when he presented himself for screening as a minister, right? So he said it was Ribadon behind it, that the DSS or SSS cleared him, right? But they said there's a security report about him that he must not be made a minister, and he believes that that came from Ribadon, his supposed friend. He said Ribadon is behind his own travails or what have you. But Rufaya, the guy that threatened election observers, remember? In 2019, Mr. Bodybag, right? Again, watch this.
End of the day, Cyril, it is Nigerians, 84 million registered voters, that will line up and vote on the 16th of February. Let us wait for the results. And if the results are not what we expect them to be, there is a process to challenge them. We have election tribunals, challenge them. President Buhari did that 3 times. He never resorted to violence. He never called for violence. He went to the Supreme Court 3 times. Let these other parties that are not used to losing elections. We are used to losing elections. Those of us that came from opposition, we know the pain of losing elections. We know the pain of even elections being stolen from us. But we never resorted to violence. We went through the legal process. Even if it was unfair to us, we accepted the outcome. Let every Nigerian, let us all commit that we have a country, and we have institutions, and we should respect those institutions, allow them to work. If we have a suspicion that the security agencies are biased, as the governor of Anambra complained to the president, raise the flag. Let's give the authorities the opportunity to change them. But don't try to create trouble because your children have all been taken out abroad, or they are studying abroad, and it is the children of ordinary people that will be up in the streets killing one another. This is my appeal. Now, intervention is the higher form interference, where countries intervene militarily. We've done that in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, but we only did so because we had the international community actually appealing to Nigeria to go in and restore order in that place. And it cost us a lot of money and lives, and we never got anything for it. We did it out of good neighborliness. Sure. Okay, those that are calling for anyone to come and intervene in Nigeria, we are waiting for the person that will come and intervene. They will go back in body bags. Okay. Because nobody will come to Nigeria and tell us how to run our country. We've got that independence, and we are trying to run our country as decently as possible. And we know the history of those countries that are trying to teach us these things. We have read their history. We also know at their own stages of development, they went through these challenges. So please, let's work together. Let's advise one another, but don't lecture us. At the end of the day, Cyril, it is Nigerians, 84 million.
Elruffy, Mr. Bodybag. It was like an emperor. It was as if like a power would never leave him. Elruffy, the most evil man to ever rule Kaduna, no joke. Thousands, tens of thousands of lives were lost in the hands of this murderer. Power was so intoxicating to him. Aba, Elruffy will use the same DSS to pick people up for criticizing him on social media. And this is not just arrest them and sue them. They will pick people up, lock them up for months without trial, torture. Today, Elruffy is now one of the internally displaced politicians in that contraption. He's taking a fight to Thiefnubu because Thiefnubu used him and dumped him. Now, Elruffy, presenting himself as somebody on the side of people, 2 days ago joined TikTok according to him, he wants to mingle with the younger generation, the Gen Z and the Gen X, a Gen Alpha, where he can possibly use his old trick of trying to sound like intelligent and patriotic, an evil man to the core. A friend of his was picked up 2 days ago, and Elruffy was on TikTok to talk about the abuse of power, how people have been like arrested by his own now sworn political enemy, Ubasani. Oh, he made a short video about that, by the way. Watch this.
Fellow compatriots, yesterday our colleague Jafar Ibrahim Sani, our former commissioner, was abducted on the streets of Kaduna, arraigned before a magistrate without any charges or first information report, and immediately remanded at the Kaduna Correctional Facility or Kaduna Prison. Jafar's only offense is that he has joined the SDP, thereby defecting from the APC. The intolerance of democratic opposition is unacceptable. The Kaduna state government cannot be allowed to continue to misuse the security agencies for this purpose. Let us all stand up and fight for our democracy. Thank you and God bless. Fellow compatriots,
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
Any ofo, an unfortunate soul. So the same Elruffy, who is now on the other side, of course, is now complaining about people using the police or DSS, federal agents, to pick up their political enemy or enemies. Something that was like a stock in trade of this little finger, right? Elruffy. So now that Elruffy, even though it is late, it's pretty much like late, okay? Is telling us what we already knew, right? That Thiefnubu no go any real school, forged his own certificates. He was a drug dealer, heroin trafficker in Chicago in the late 80s and early 90s before he ran away to Nigeria to go and join politics and ran for office to become a senator representing Lagos West in 1992, which also gave him an opportunity to actually make a deal with the feds where he forfeited $460,000 US dollars. The Nigerian Supreme Court, the Nigerian courts were presented with this evidence. What did they say? They said, because it's been a long time ago, Thiefnubu, the drug dealer, the American assets, can indeed continue to parade himself as your president. So what is it now that Elruffy want to tell us that we didn't know? This is just to let you know that these guys who are using religion to hoodwink the gullible ones, hoping that because you are a Muslim and they are Muslims, or they claim to be Muslims, therefore you have something in common. No, you don't. These guys don't have any religion. And if for any reason, if, religion indeed, right, is, it's something that people should, except those who have actually like repented, or religion should be something that should possibly purify people in a way that you can say, oh, yeah, they were sinners, but now they have like repented, and because these ones have nothing to do with religion. They are as evil as what they told you about evil. So Elruffy, you can keep all this coming, but that will never change him from who he is. Elruffy, an evil man that became a governor, divided his own people, monitored the massacring of his own people, and he justified same. Elruffy, the man that was dividing kingdoms in Kaduna, breaking apart kingdoms, communities where people were bonded together, he was breaking them apart, renaming some of them as Emirates in that same Kaduna, right? A man that, oh God, if if all the things we read in these religious books, where when God became so upset and so angry with some certain people, he destroyed them like outrightly. If that is something that can repeat itself, somebody like Elruffy should actually perish, and not just him, including his entire household. His wife is so evil. His children are, oh my God. And he himself, right? God knows the kind of heart or soul he gave this soulless, mofo that is now running around to try to now tell us that the druggie that majority of Nigerians rejected, but they managed to regain, who now has the power, consolidating that power, that druggie that we knew before now, is one new thing that Hellfire want to tell us about Thiefnubu. So I'm waiting for, he's currently pushing that he should be arrested, and I want to see that happen so that we can see how this whole thing can implode. So right now, Hellfire doesn't mind if you are an infidel. Right now, all that matter is that let us come together and let us punish this man that I gave everything to, only for him to disgrace me, right? This way. That's the Hellfire's prayer. Oh, talking about the man himself. Thiefnubu, the druggie that used and dumped Hellfire. Remember the, oh, I'm gonna have a video because I kept this. Another person who has joined is SDP. Is this guy, Abacha's gunman, Al-Mustafa. That's Al-Mustafa. So he's waiting for others to come and join him now, by the way. So we shall monitor that once they start joining. Mind you, there is a report that Peter Obi himself is on his way back to PDP. Have you heard that? No, he hasn't said anything about that, but he is. But we shall see. Time shall tell. Yesterday, we discussed the congressional hearing, the U.S. Congress hearing on the killings of Christians in Nigeria by the Islamic jihadists, Fulani terrorists, Lakurawa, as well as the ISWAP and Boko Haram. The killings that Nigeria and Nigeria authority continue to downplay. The killings that have seen the Nigerian government compensate the killers, the murderous Fulani terrorists, compensated while their victims remain in squalor, living in makeshift, inhabitable, abandoned schools as victims of the Fulani terrorism in Nigeria. Christians persecuted, slaughtered, while the Nigerian media continue to report it as farmers-herders clashes. The American Congress has now recommended that Nigeria should be sanctioned. But somebody like myself is asking the US Congress to please point out the criminals behind it and get them indicted, arrested, and tried for their crime against humanity. So that's him yesterday. Because a bishop from Makurdi in Benue State was given the platform to tell them the story, tell them their experience and what have you. So that same yesterday, Thiefnubu invited some bishops, Anglican bishops, into the Earth's Old Rock, where, again, in his Bulaba, Bala Blue, states, he told them that he has saved Nigeria, because in the last 50 years, those before him, they have been mortgaging the future of Nigerians and generations yet unborn. The money they are paying on a subsidy. He saved Nigeria from ruin. And people said that he is a bigot, right? In his Lagos urbanization agenda, which is filled with his stooges from Lagos. Thiefnubu told the Anglicans, right, the bishops, that, again, living in denial as usual, downplaying these atrocities of the Fulani terrorists in that contraption. Thiefnubu played it down by saying, it is not as bad as it's been reported. And in fact, he has managed to save the contraption from a total ruin and bankruptcy. That those who call him a bigot, how can he be a bigot when his wife is a pastor in a Redeemed Christian Church of Faith? He didn't even say RCCG. So I'm going to take you to that boring part before we get to other interesting parts tonight, okay? So let's go and hear what Thiefnubu had to share with these Anglican bishops that honored his invitation, to make it look more or less like he want to talk about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria as it is being raised at the global stage. But here is the chart. Watch.
Few years. Yes, it's good to learn from the lessons of the past to really navigate today and move forward. I met you when I was contesting, and by the grace of God, with your support and prayer, I'm today the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, a great country in the continent of Africa. I could see what you are saying, but without us building an investment as citizens and leaders of the society, there's no way we can build a nation. Citizenship by investment, and this is what you are preaching. Yes, the fuel subsidy was hard, tough for me, but it's a hard choice that Nigeria must face if we are not going to bankrupt our country, force disintegration and indebtedness, but the future of our children yet unborn. We were spending their investment. We are spending their rights. And poverty has no religious basis. It has no religious connotation, no identity. It affects all. And we must fight it together. I've been a good example as the governor of Lagos State. I've returned all the religious mission schools. When we look at the possibility of a committee, because when you look at the constitutional democracy, it is tough for its twists and turns. Where are those schools being? No, they are in the hand of the state government, subnationals. They are not federal institutions. It's just pretentious. Caliber designation when you say this is a federal school. It's a Nigerian school. We have to be more dedicated as citizens. We have to invest in ourselves. I'm glad you mentioned the tax reform. That's part of the investment opportunity. Citizens must be able to build their nation. This insecurity, everyone is affected, Christian, Muslim alike. And I have no religious behind. But, I won't be a bigot. My wife is a pastor of Redeemed Christian Church, faith. But we have to think of our country as if, this country must develop, must go beyond myopic beliefs, must stand beyond religious bigotry. And I'm here, open to you, ready to listen. People that are elder of the Catholic faith are here. We've been together for some time. We still have an open door policy. I will not shut my doors. I will be ready to help. We will set up the committee to, as you suggested. And if you have recommendations, please give them to us. I've not been able to set that up instantly. Now, we've established state loan fund to help the poor and ensure that our children are not left behind because of tuition fee and all of that. Thank you for what the degree of investment in education that you have been, Catholic faith has been making in education. And we credit that. And we will find a way.
Kò ní ìdí ká kọrin Ògúndé Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀wẹ̀ di bọ́ọ̀lù fàyàráyé ó gbá wọn sísàlẹ̀ ó gbá wọn sódò. Ọ̀rọ̀ orin kọ́, ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ ni. Ó tásìkò náà tá a máa gbà á. Ọmọ tó mówó wálé ni bàbá àti ìyá ẹ̀ máa yan rìn. Agbára yìí kò ń ṣe fún Òkè Ọya nìkan. Tí ò bá sí àwa èmi tí ń dúró wájú yìí tí ń lérí ogun. Tí ní òkè Buhari nìṣó ká máa bá lọ. Kò lè di president. Ó ṣe kìíní olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kejì olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kẹta olùlẹ̀. Ó tiẹ̀ sunkún lórí tẹlifíṣàn pé láyé òun ò tún rán mọ́. Mo dẹ̀ lọ bá ń Kaduna wà rán ọ̀rọ̀ ẹkún kọ́ lélẹ̀. Àdúró tiẹ̀ wà á dẹ̀ wọlé. Nǹkan kan ní pé o ò ní fọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ṣeré. Ó dẹ̀ gbà. Àtijọ́ tó rẹ̀ ti débẹ̀, mi ò gba mínísítà, mi ò gba contract, mi ì tọrọ ọbẹ̀, mi ì tọrọ gàrí, mi ì tọrọ fúra lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, mi ì dẹ̀ ìyàwó ń bẹ̀. Mo wá ní lọ́tẹ̀ yìí o, Yorùbá ló kàn. àwa Yorùbá náà èmi ló kàn.
I can't be a bigot. That's what he said. Right? A man that ran on complete bigotry, religious bigotry, tribal bigotry. And today is catching up on him that he had to come out and say, he can't be a bigot. I can't be a bigot. My wife is a pastor of Redeemed Church of Faith. He didn't even know the name of his wife's church because everything is, everything is masked in fraud and lies. Everything about Thiefnubu and his entire family is shrouded in lies. Yoruba ló kàn. About this, so Yoruba no, Èmi ló kàn. That was the beginning of Èmi ló kàn, by the way. So in America, here is actually how the American Congress, a congressman who actually spoke on this same matter, right? Had this to say where they recommended that Nigeria must be sanctioned. But luckily, they have announced the names of countries to be sanctioned by Donald Trump. And luckily for Nigeria, they got exempted. But watch this. On the killings orchestrated by Bokohari, by Elruffy, and as a state-sponsored terrorism in Nigeria by APC. It is the day that APC dies in that contraption that terrorism in Nigeria will die. Quote me anywhere. Watch this.
According to the Catholic News Agency and EWTN News, quote, Archbishop Ignatius Kagama is concerned over the seemingly endless violence against Christians that claimed at least 58 lives this past weekend and hundreds of others in recent weeks. It is our prayer, he said, that something definitive will be done to stop the situation that is inhuman. Shockingly, that was more than a dozen years ago and part of my opening remarks at a hearing that I held on July 10th, 2012, one of several hearings, 8 in all, on religious persecution in Nigeria. And since then, things have only gotten worse. 1 year later, in 2013, I visited Archbishop Kagama in Jos, Nigeria. We visited churches, 5 of them that had been recently firebombed by Boko Haram, and spent hours listening to survivors tell their stories. Despite their numbing loss and pain, I was absolutely amazed at the survivors about their faith, very deep faith, their courage and the resilience. They were not going to quit, but they were looking to the government for help, and it was not coming. I also met with an evangelical believer named Habila Adamu. Dragged from his home by Boko Haram terrorists, he was ordered to renounce his faith. With an AK-47 pressed to his face, he was asked, "Are you ready to die as a Christian?" With extraordinary courage, Habila answered, "Yes, I am ready to die as a Christian." He was asked a second time, and he repeated his answer. His wife was pleading, "Please don't kill my husband." And yet he said, "Yes, I am ready to die as a Christian." This time, the terrorist pulled the trigger. A bullet ripped through Habila's face. He crumpled to the ground, bleeding profusely, left for dead. By some miracle, he survived. I met him in an IDP camp in Jos. I asked him to come to Washington to tell his story. He did. And at the congressional hearing, he said this to our subcommittee, this subcommittee: "I am alive because God wants you to have this message. Knowing Christ is so much deeper than merely knowing Boko Haram's story of hate and intolerance." He closed his testimony with this: "Do everything you can to end this ruthless religious persecution, but know Christ first." To the end, everything he did was to witness, to radiate his love for God, but he was also calling on us to get involved and do something. Since then, however, the wanton violence against Christians in Nigeria has grown significantly worse. A couple of days ago, the Pillar Catholic reported, and I quote, "While Christians are receiving ashes last Wednesday to begin Lent, news broke out in Nigeria that a priest had been brutally murdered by kidnappers who had stormed his rectory the night before and kidnapped him. With deep sorrow and righteous indignation, I condemn in the strongest terms the relentless and tragic wave of kidnappings targeting priests, pastoral agents, and the faithful." Bishop Kundi said in a March 7th, just a couple days ago, press conference, which expressed outrage over the kidnaps and the brutal murder of his priests. According to the sources in the diocese, Father Sylvester was bound by his kidnappers. He was shot in the head, and I saw the picture. It is heartbreaking to look at. Shot at close range with an assault rifle, and according to the officials of his diocese. The systematic slaughter and abuse of Nigerian believers must stop. Delay is denial and a death sentence to so many. One of our distinguished witnesses today, Bishop Wilfred Anagbe of the Diocese of Makurdi, Nigeria, traveled a long distance to be with us today and will testify, and this is from his testimony. Militant Fulani herdsmen are terrorists. They steal and vandalize. They kill and boast about it. They kidnap and rape, and they enjoy total impunity for this from the elected officials. None of them, I repeat his quote, none of them have been arrested and brought to justice. In December of 2020, President Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, only to be reversed without justification by Secretary Blinken in November of 2021. And I know I asked him at hearings. I asked him privately, but also asked him at open hearings. Why? Never got a good answer. Religious leaders in Nigeria were outraged by the Secretary's decision. One Nigerian bishop challenged the Secretary and said, Christian persecution is more intense than ever. And that was Bishop Mamza. And Genocide Watch has called Nigeria a killing field of defenseless Christians, quote unquote. Yet the government of Nigeria has failed to make progress against religiously motivated persecution of Christians, despite religious freedom being enshrined as an essential human right in their constitution. Likewise, Nigerian legal framework supports pluralism at both federal and state levels, but glaring contradictions exist, especially with laws that criminalize blasphemy, some even carrying the death penalty. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, USCIRF, was, quote, appalled that the State Department did not redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. USCIRF had recommended, and we have the former chairman here, Tony Perkins, had recommended this designation 4 years in a row, from 2021 to 2024, and said, quote, there is no justification as to why the State Department continues to fail to redesignate Nigeria as a CPC. And again, CPC, as you know, carries significant sanctions, a whole broad array of sanctions that the President and the Secretary of State are empowered to level on a country that commits persecution. When the former Secretary of State Blinken held a joint press conference with the Nigerian Foreign Minister on January 23, 2024, following the Christmas Eve massacre, which targeted killings by radical Fulani terrorists and took the lives of hundreds of Christians.
That's right. That you just watched there, normally, if Nigeria was a real country, it would be happening inside the Nigeria National Assembly. Because their own job is to see to the safety and the welfare of these Nigerians that they claim to be representing in that National Assembly. But we all know why it's never going to happen. Because those who are sponsoring the terrorism in Nigeria, using this their Islamic terrorism in Nigeria, these are not just ragtag terrorists who are holding guns or carrying guns that you see in these their Allahu Akbar videos. The real sponsor of terrorism are those who have the power and what it takes to nip it in the bud, right? But chooses not to, because they have grown it to become an industry. But what happened to this your Baba Geos along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway? What happened to all these your Geos and these big massive churches inside that contraption? Are they cowards? Are they also in bed with these terrorists? Are they so afraid of the terrorist sponsors in Nigeria that they have to watch their flock, their fellow Christians, right, being slaughtered on a daily basis, that they have become so powerless or chooses to look powerless that it has to take the American Congress, right, to begin to look into the persecution of these Christians. Now, if you take religion out of it, these are supposed to be Nigerians who deserve to live and should never be condemned to death because of their religion. But the situation is different in that contraption, because those who are supposed to keep people safe, they are also corporates. Unfortunately, for political exigencies and political advantage, majority of those who are also Christians themselves in authority would rather just keep quiet, unfortunately. But that's America for you. It didn't end there. They demanded that it's been taking too long. America needs to sanction Nigeria. And I'm saying, listen, you don't probably do. Nigeria is more or less like sanctioned by God, if I have to use that. Even though the problems Nigerians are facing are man-made problems, okay? But nevertheless, I still think, right? Nigeria is the hell that you have read about in your religious books. Trust me, it looks more like it, you know? So, there is a continuation, though. I want you to listen to the rest.
According to the chemical Fulani terrorists and took the lives of hundreds of Christians, he did offer his condolences, and I watched it. I was glad to see that. But we need to take it beyond just saying, I feel sorry for you. And these Christian killings recurred the following year, just 3 months ago. Make no mistake, these ongoing attacks are based on religion and diverting attention from it tonight. So let me just say parenthetically, I tried for 3 years to get the Clinton administration to designate Boko Haram as an FTO, of the Obama administration, as a foreign terrorist organization. I held hearing after hearing, and they wouldn't do it. On the day I was marking up my legislation to do this, just that, State Department said, oh, we're going to designate them an FTO. And after all the crimes they were committing, later it was the Chibok girls, it was all the other atrocities being committed by Boko Haram, and they wouldn't even give them the FTO status so we could start investigating where they get their money, their weapons, and the like. Make no mistake, all of these attacks are based on religion, like I said, and diverting attention from it denies that we have seen with our own eyes. This is religious cleansing. It needs to stop, and the perpetrators need to be brought to justice. Last year, the House Foreign Affairs did adopt my resolution, HRES 82, calling on the Biden administration to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It passed exactly 1 year ago, almost a year ago, in the committee, but it never came to the floor. While I strongly believe that President Trump will again designate Nigeria as a CPC and do much more to assist the persecuted church, including the outreach to the Nigerian president, Tinubu, last night I did reintroduce the resolution, and I hope we will have a robust debate and it will get marked up. Help can't come fast enough. The killing fields are every day, every single day, and we need to do more and do everything within our power to try to mitigate it. Let's not forget these horrifying facts. Northern Nigeria, and this is just northern Nigeria alone, has seen the destruction of over 18,000 churches since 2009. 18,000 churches. I saw 5 of them. Totally burnt out. and many people killed with car bombs and the like. An August 2024 report from the Observatory for Religious Freedom in Africa found that 55,910 people were killed and 21,000 people were abducted in the context of terror groups in Nigeria within just 4 years, from October 2019 to September 2023. I would point out that approximately 34,000 are moderate Muslims that have been murdered in Islamic attacks, and we speak out for them as well. I have met with imams in Nigeria, and if they speak, they're visited that following week by one of these radical Islamist groups, and it's not pretty. They'll kill them or do other kinds of mischief. About 5 million Christians have been displaced and forced into internally displaced person camps, IDP camps, within Nigeria. The 2023 watch list released in January by Open Doors this past January found that 89% of Christians, 89% of the Christians who are martyred in the world are in one country, Nigeria. The targeted violence starkly highlights the precarious state of religious freedom in Nigeria. Again, we're asking the president, Tinubu, he's got to take action. And we're going to, I'm hoping to lead a delegation to Nigeria. We've got to raise these issues, but it starts at the top. I've been to Abuja many times. The president has real power. He can do it. And we're calling on him to do that. Let me also say that and I will put the rest of my statement into the record, but this hearing, we're hoping will be a catalyst for action by our own government and also by Congress and, of course, above all, the executive branch. The new president has a lot to do, and I think he'll do this, and then, if necessary, impose sanctions. Where that has happened, there is change. Where it doesn't happen, the status quo, the killing fields continue. I'd like to yield to Ms. Jacobs.
And it continues when nothing is done. You hear that? Nigerians inside Nigeria have no idea the damages that this terrorism is doing. They do not have a clue, right, how culpable, right, and cover up that their own supposed governments have been on this matter as well. And like he said, if pressure is not mounted, maybe nothing will happen and the killing field will continue. Just like majority of us are just victims, you know, awaiting victims of this failed country led by APC. The reason why the killings of Christians and Muslims alike, now that we know, inside that contraption seems to be on the rise or in the increase, is because APC, Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Apanyo People's Congress. Some said all present criminals. Others say so all past criminals. It depends on how, I mean, whatever you want to give to that acronym. APC. Because APC wanted power, they introduced terrorism to Nigeria. They got power. They kept maintaining the terrorism industry, which is now a very big multi-billion-dollar industry. It is only when the government genuinely, right, decided to label this terrorists as a foreign terrorist organization, FTOs, that the government worldwide can actually probe the funding and those behind it. And this is why in Nigeria, rather than probe these terrorists, they have what is called Operation Safe Corridor. Safe Corridor for terrorists who have killed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. So let's give them this corridor, safe corridor. Just walk this way, where they call it repentant terrorism. Like the terrorists have repented because they swore by the Holy Quran. And guess what? They brag that they have over 250,000 repentant terrorists in Nigeria. Guess what? That never for once, right? Reduce the terrorism in Nigeria. How do you forgive over 250,000 terrorists? Spend over 90 billion around them every year. And none of them could give you the intel, right information on how to end the bloodbath. Because the bloodbath is being sponsored by APC. And the more terrorized the people are, the more control they seem to have. I'm talking about the APC. So if you want terrorism to end in that contraption, APC has to die. You know what I mean? Like everything that is APC, must die a natural death. And dying a natural death is in the hands of those of you, the potential victims, still will be victims. So Nigeria escaped this list, the list of countries to be sanctioned and given a visa ban in America. So these are, you know, those who are going to have their own reviewed in 60 days, those in orange and those in red. So Nigeria escaped it. How? Nobody knows yet. Let's go to River State, where another drama. Should we, before we go to River State, I have this story of this young lady who happened to be an NYSC. She's trending as we speak. She raised the alarm over the state of the country. She complains of you know, the lies being told or lies told them by the APC, Thiefnubu, including the money they promised them. You know, they were supposed to increase the alawi of the NYSC guys to 80,000 or 85,000, I think. But guess what? This was promised them since last year, April. By next month, it's going to be a whole year, Bako. And Shishi, Shengbai has not been added to the alawi. As the economy continued to nosedive, as the cost of a living crisis continue to, bite, this youth copper, right, expressed herself in a clip that's gone viral. And what followed, what happened after that, will shock you. Watch this.
I genuinely feel so overwhelmed, and I feel like if a lot of Nigerians come out and start speaking on what we are actually going through, then maybe changes will be made in the government. Don't you guys think? And this video, I just want to say to our president, I don't know if there have been any other president that is terrible, but you are such a terrible president. It is so hard. So I'm coming from the supermarket where I went to get foodstuffs, and everything has gone up again. It's just like every single week prices increase. I want to know, what is the government doing about this increment? Is there going to be a particular time where prices will stop going up? Is there going to be a particular time where things are going to go back? Guys, why am I going to get a crate of egg and they're telling me it is 6.5? It doesn't make any sense that egg will cost 6.5. Like, I literally can't remember when egg used to cost 800. And I'm so overwhelmed because this is literally my first time doing this adulthood thing alone. This is my first time moving out of my family house. This is my first time living by myself. And not just that, after I left the supermarket and I got home, my security is bringing NEPA bill, and NEPA bill has gone up by 2 times. Like, it's insane. I can't keep up with these bills. I am so overwhelmed and I'm so exhausted. Every single money that I have been making, I'm using it to pay bills. I don't even get to live properly. The craziest thing was, you want to go out to a certain location with your friends, and Uber is about 25,000. Like, even Uber, that we can't even take Uber. It is crazy. Like, why are things so expensive? And let's not even add, Lagos stinks. Lagos smells like shit. If you say, okay, I want to take a walk, I'm depressed, let me just take a walk, you can't even take a walk. Like, the place smells like crazy. Why does an entire state smell like this? And what is the government doing about the bad smell? Everything is just so overwhelming. You want to start up a business, and now you have to take a loan to start up a business, and the loan, you don't even know if you can actually repay it, because in the business, I don't know, I'm just so tired. Like, why is no one saying anything about it? Being an NYSC copper, there's nothing beneficial about this whole NYSC thing. The money I spend on transportation is just more than the alawi the government gives me. Like, it doesn't, I can't keep up. Like, I'm so tired of this bill and I can't keep up. I am overwhelmed and I'm tired, I'm exhausted. It's too much, and I wish that we would start calling the government out heads on. For example, Tinubu, you are a terrible president. Like, what are you doing to help us? What are you doing to help the economy? You are so terrible. I'm so sick and tired of Nigerians acting like we are strong, and they say, oh, Nigerians, we are actually very strong. Oh, no matter how much they increase things, we still chest it. No, it is not cute. We are cowards. That is a cowardly behavior. You don't stand to ask people, oh, why is this expensive? For example, MTN, what the fuck is even going on? Literally, I spend over like 20,000 on data in a week, and I'm not even joking. 1.5 data cannot even last me for an entire day. I have to do 1.5 like 2 times a day, which is like 3,000 a day. It is too much. Like, what are you guys doing about it? Like, what is happening? I'm tired of paying bills. I feel like I don't have anything. I feel like I don't have any achievement to call my own. Every single time that I work hard, I'm spending it back in the economy to pay bills, and I wasn't created to pay bills. I'm just really tired, and I just want our money to count for something. And when is the government going to actually start working? Because Nigerians are so classist. Everybody now wants to behave as if they are rich. Everybody is faking wealth. But we are ending up being poor because we are struggling so hard to look rich. We are ending up being poor. So I need us as Nigerians to please start calling the government out. We should be tired of this by now. We need to call the government out. Prices need to start one place. Food needs to start one place. The economy needs to start one place. Like, we are tired. It's just too much. The more you work hard to achieve something, the higher it gets. The dream car that I was saving money for has literally gone double. I can't even afford it anymore. Instead, I'm going to use my money to buy, to just keep paying bills. And now house rent is double. Like, I am so sick. And I'm so tired of this. And I really need the government to intervene because I am so overwhelmed.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to for simple reasons that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no way to make a home.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
There is none. My dear, I understand your frustration. Seriously, I do. But until people begin to take their own destiny in their own hands, confront their fears, it seems like you are in for a long ride. The rotten system doesn't just exist on its own. The rotten system exists with other structures or factors that kind of like enables it. Gen Z is tired. Gen Z, right? Who is paying bills for the first time. And she said, I wasn't born to pay bills. I understand. But there is no end in sight. There is none. I wish there is. There is none, according to Thiefnubu. She said a lot. Unfortunately, those who claimed to be from the NYSC decided to call her. And guess what? It is Nigeria. They didn't call her to probably help and say, come, young lady, we understand what you are going through, okay? If you want to talk to someone, we are here to talk to you, okay? A lot of people are going through it right now. So are you. But let's see what we can do to help you. That is what normally would happen in a working system, not in Nigeria. Do you want to know what they did to her? They called to threaten her. And as a Gen Z, she recorded the phone call, posted it on social media. They said, how dare you abuse or criticize Thiefnubu on social media? So we're just going to terminate your NYSC and make sure that you don't have any certificate that you served. We'll punish you for daring to criticize Thiefnubu on social media. They threatened her. Watch this.
So guys, yesterday I made a video talking about the Nigerian government and how terrible President Tinubu is, and I was crying in the video. So 30 minutes ago, I just received a call from the NYSC board, starting with the secretariat before the LGI, and for the secretariat, for the NYSC secretariat, I'm going to attach what she said, some of the things she said, so you guys will hear.
Are you normal?
I wasn't insulting the president, ma. I was only asking for accountability.
Hold down that rubbish you put there.
Ma, are you threatening me?
Hold down that rubbish. You are not talking to your mate.
Ma, she called me and she was shouting and she was threatening me to take down the video. And in my first mind, I'm like, wait, how did they get my phone number? And then I realized that every NYC copper has to fill a file with your phone number and your address. I'm like, these people actually have my house address and they know where I'm staying. And now they have started calling me first to threaten me. It is so bad that you can't even just pick up about the government because they feel like they have chains to hold you. You're already calling me to threaten me. And this is, I will literally attach what she said so you guys can hear. She was telling me that I was insulting the president. I never insulted the president. I said he's terrible. That is not an insult. It is a statement, and I did not go on and start saying, oh, Tinubu, you're this, you're that. I just said he's a terrible president. And it's okay for a government, for a body to identify that, okay, this person is actually terrible at their job. So why is it a problem that the NYC government, NYC secretariat, or NYC board will call me to threaten me? Like, why is that okay? That I can't speak up for something that is directly hurting me? Why is it okay that they will call me to threaten me under 24 hours that I made a video? Why can't Nigerians speak up? Why are they holding us in chains? Why do they feel like everything that we do, they have ways to control us? Let me tell you guys something, NYC board or whatever. If you guys have come together and you like, maybe you're not calling me one by one to threaten me, that's fine. You can do whatever you want to do. Because I know that you guys already have plans. The one that this one is calling me, the next person is calling me, that's fine. But now I'm putting it out here so you guys will see and you guys will know. NYSC, they have my house address and they are started calling me to threaten me. So in case anything happens, you will be very much aware where the problem started. Because I did not say anything I shouldn't have said. The Nigerian government are not doing anything about the inflation that is happening. And it's causing us to be very depressed. I am depressed and my bank account is going to zero and I still have to live every day. And I'm asking the Nigerian government to do something about the inflation. And instead of me to get a call and say, okay, we are working on it, I'm getting a call saying that, oh, you're very stupid. Why did you do that to Tinubu? Take down that video. You did this, you did that. I just want you guys to know that this is what the NYC board are doing. And in case anything happens to me, because they have my address, you guys know who to hold accountable. So guys.
So it's unfortunate, darling. You know, so it's unfortunate. The bad governance doesn't kind of like exist in isolation. There are components, there are bodies, organs of those who ensure that a worse government, all right, continue to exist. You know, I sympathize with you, media. I do, but it is what an average people faces in that contraption. You're on your own. You can't speak up. You have no real rights. They say you are a citizen of the Nigeria, or isn't it better for them to actually call you the slaves in the plantation called Nigeria? You have no real rights except the one they say you have. And if they want to take your life for speaking up, they also believe that there is a system that allows that can also cover that impunity. It is Nigeria, my dear. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the reality. This is the contraption that we have found ourselves. A contraption being ruled by a bunch of criminals, rogues, drug dealers, drug traffickers, human traffickers, organ traffickers, treasury looters, violent people that you can think of. They are those occupying the position of authority in that contraption. So we are at their mercy until we all agree to get rid of them, until we are really done, for real, like real, we are done now. Until then, we are at their mercy, unfortunately. Young people are being exposed to a frustrated life, depressed life, and people are actually speaking less of that. If you have a chance of meeting all these young people who are going to exist or trying to exist in this Thiefnubu, and you are human, you will cry for some of them. You will feel sorry for some of them. If you are an older person, yeah, and then you can imagine what life is going to be like for these 20-year-olds. And as a parent, you will probably weep for them. Let's go to River State, where the drama started from the Ijaw women who protested the invitation extended to Wike. Now, the Abalama is called. Let me bring that up so that I'm very sure. You have the Ijaws, the Kalabari, the Ijaws in Kalabari, who decided that they were going to stop with a Wike state. You know, the community called Abalama in River State, right? decided to honor Wike. And then the people in that area said no. So they are like divided people, those who were for Wike and those who were against Wike, all because of this simple thing, seamless Fubara's encounter with his lunatic, rabies-beaten godfather Wike, because I'm using the word of Asari Dokudom right now. He said Wike is beaten by rabies. It's like a Rottweiler beaten by, I don't know, dog beating the dog or dog eats dog, kind of. So the drama started when, like I said, an organized reception in honor of Wike was put together by the Abalama community and their leaders. So the Kalabari, the Ijaws there said, no, it won't happen. Wike cannot come to their community. And therefore they staged a massive protest earlier today, which also prompted Wike's security convoy, right, to start shooting canisters of tear gas, at these protesters, women, men, young, old, right, blocked the road to Abalama, where Wike was to be honored. He made it down, no, but let's start from where it's all started from. That is this.
Nation. My name is Ambassador the Information Officer of IYC Star Zone. We want to tell the world to know that President Tinubu has sent his soldiers to kill 10 Ijaw youths for just no cause. We are peaceful. There is not any ammunition to look at the women. They have killed They were shooting at live ammunition. But we are telling the world, no. The United Nations should know that the John man will never fold his hand or will never surrender for his rights. Yes. We are sacrificed for everybody. But to enjoy, thank God. God is their witness. No, don't touch the pen, don't touch it. Yeah. I'm the IYC Secretary General. Today, you can imagine seeing Wike's people and the public people that are chasing us. Look at my face. Look at it. They are chasing us. They came here and said we will not have our own meeting in Abalama. Look at what they've done to me. You can look at my eyes. See how they are chasing all our people. See what they are doing to us. So the world should know what is going on. Asawana, our national secretary. Look at them, wicked soldiers, Dutch Kelly soldiers. They've been shooting at us. They've chased us away, and while they are having their own, we are having our own meeting. They said we can't have ours. They are having their own meeting. They've been chasing after us. They've been shooting at us. They've been tear gassing us. They've injured a lot of women here. So I am just reporting live. We are only here as Kalabari people and as Ijaw people to have IYC Congress, nothing more. They chose to also fix their meeting in our same venue. And now we said, okay, use your part, let's use it.
Tear gas, huh? They tear gas, eh? He fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man.
So when Wike bulldozed his way in, shot at those who were trying to stop him from, approaching this community, and he had his field day. Let us continue, okay? How did Wike manage to get himself into the venue? I think it is more like this. Watch this, please.
Who? The governor, no be governor. Now Wike, no be governor. See you.
Waiting to receive the minister. All the Kalabari chiefs.
Yes, so wicked. 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 Open the quick and city minister. La 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 la. Yes, so wicked. Yes, so wicked. FCT minister. Yes, so wicked. Yes, so wicked. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, ay, ay, ay. Yes, so wicked. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, yes, so wicked. Ay, 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 ay.
That wasn't all, okay? That's not all. For you to understand that this whole thing is about, I think it's about who has a street, kind of like a street credibility. So when the Wike needs stuffs like this to keep showing to Thiefnubu that he still has the ears of his own people, that not all of them are going with Fubara. And rightly so. That is the state he ruled for 8 years. So, and knowing the kind of a person he is, to those who are very close to him, he is a very, very generous thief. So it will be difficult for you to call him a thief when you are already sharing from the largesse. So he is a very good and cheerful giver. Ask them in northern part of Nigeria, where he squandered some of his stolen money from River State on that failed presidential ambition. They actually had, there was a part where people were preparing, right, for the Wike's appearance today in that Abalama as well last night. Watch this part before we get to hear what he told them at that gathering. As usual. And as usual, I mean, you can't have all of this reception and not really feel on top of the world. Like Lady Abby just said in the comment there, the same set of people will also show up when it is the Fubara's turn, I think. But the irony of it all is that they were supposed to be Ijaws, insulted by Wike, but they don't feel insulted. These ones didn't feel insulted. They decided to invite Wike, honor him, gave him a podium for him to spew his gibberish. It's nonsense as usual. And of course, there is a copy of that for you to see tonight, where Wike categorically said Fubara will be removed whenever the assemblymen deemed it fit. And there's nothing that will happen. The same the same one that triggered all these reactions, all these protests and what have you, he repeated the same thing at that venue. Then finally, he cleared the parts where he's, on this coalition course with Fubara. He said Fubara Fubara is befriending those who are supposed to be his political enemies, those who wanted to be governors like him too. That he, with a Wike, ended their dreams or their ambition for Fubara. Now, Fubara is surrounded himself with a bunch of opportunists. He said a lot. I can't quote him. I want you to listen.
Look at the problem. Who started this problem? Let me tell you so you know. Baragogo, secretary to government. What they did, he went and used his senior brother, who the judge. Justice Baragogo sat down under ex parte order, said 27 members have defected. Ex parte, not on notice. Secretary to government, lured his brother George, Justice Tinubu, to give ex parte order that the government can present budget to 3-4 people. Justice Daragogo, Secretary Daragogo, the judge who gave the order, Daragogo. Now look at how people can destroy a state. That's the genesis of all this crisis. How a judge will sit down under ex parte order that people have defected, that you can present budget to 3-4 people, and still he has to remain. Look at what the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court did. Look at Danagogo, who wanted to be governor. He was so pained that he was not given. He followed the governor, and this governor does not know. This one, ever asked me, he will lead you to hellfire.
Yes, see how far you brought us. Yes, I'm so glad you found me worthy. Joy, I can see, bam, 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 I can tell, and I know it's your grace. All my days, I will sing your praise.
You surrendered yourself with people who wanted to be governor, whom I said no. This would not mean well for River State. They are the ones surrounding you, giving you advice. What do you think you will succeed? They will give you bad advice. See what the bad advice is doing to you. You're already down. 2-0. 2-0. And more to come.
Roland is so, Paparol is so, now we can, Roland so, now we can, I said, na Paparol is talking about. Ijaw people talking about, now we can, Roland so, now we can.
I've never seen this kind of politics where you surrender yourself with those who want your seat. I mean, will it work? Will it work? They come there, they abuse me, and you are happy. You don't know it is you that they are destroying. So, Kalabari people, be assured, I'm with you. Call me anytime. I will be with you. You have shown support, and I will never abandon you. Tell us to support somebody. No. No. So, let nobody deceive you that the governor is Ijaw. This one is not true. All of you here, Ijaw, is it not? Are you benefiting? So what is this? Politics is interest. Is it not correct? If they were writing an exam, you wouldn't have carried it. So let nobody come and deceive you. When they go and collect money at the back, they tell you, let's go and do this. Ask him, that's what you collected last night. Did you put my own there? Did you put my own there? We must come up to say, people must not behave and treat people, use people, and dump them. And then you say it's politics. That politics has to stop. That politics of use and dump must stop now. Enough is enough. So, for what you've done today.
But for clarity, though, right? I think they all do it. All the crowd you see in that video, they didn't come there because they love Wike. They were mobilized. And mobilizing to make sure that you have a good outing is a regular thing for them in that contraption. You may see that crowd. They are not there because they love Wike. If you see them with Fubara, it's not because they love Fubara. When you see the size of the crowd is determined by the size of the budget for mobilization. So you have to mobilize from all over the place. Pay them something too. That's how they run it in that place. Ikenga is one of the supporters of Fubara that people considered as when you see the Ronukus believe that Ikenga is one of the advisors of Fubara that advised him to fight on, even at this time when the Supreme Court seems to have boxed him into a corner. And Ikenga has this to say again, is also not mellowing.
If he thinks there's nothing that can remove Fubara, if that's what is pinching him, getting him frustrated, he should be ready to get more frustrated. That budget, when they finish running, they will receive the budget. At least the whole world have seen that Fubara has implemented the judgment of the Supreme Court. The council chairmen are gone, election dates have been fixed, budget is ready, presentation, the governor has gone after writing the House of Assembly. House of Assembly ran under the bed in their quarters because a master called them from Abuja. And you think the state will continue to wait for you? People of Rivers will continue to wait for you on this insult with those lawmakers? No. The state and the people are taking note. And there will be political consequences for this decision to go to the extent of wanting to bring down your own state, starve the people, and create anarchy. So we have complied on the issue of local government. They are now trying to obstruct the election. But I want to tell Rivers people, continue your lobbying for the election, continue your consultation, continue your campaign. The election will hold on August 9th as spelled out. They can run again and obtain midnight injunctions. But the election will hold because that's what Supreme Court asked for. That is what they want the Supreme Court to ask. And now all the relevant notices have been issued. But like I told you, they all want anarchy. Now they don't want the election again. So I want to allow the public and Rivers people to be vigilant again. We did it before. You people did it before. You can do it again. These people have shown they hate you. They want you to starve to death. They want you to die. Those lawmakers, because their paymaster does not want peace, wants anarchy. There cannot be vacuum in democracy and leadership. The state will continue to run and run democratically. So the election will hold. But it's important to alert you that they are running again to the court, looking for injunction to stop a legitimate process that the Supreme Court have ordered. They are running around in their quarters, in their hideout, to amend the local government law in the middle of the election to tell former chairman who left years back to jump through the window to be local government chairman. In which council would they ever enter?
Ikenga is from Imo. But I promise you, Ikenga has been more outspoken on this issue of Wike and Fubara and River State than he has been of his own constituency in Imo State. He used to be, I actually kind of liked him, right? Because he used to be one very strong voice against Oples Uzodingba, the Supreme Court governor of Owerri. In the face of ceaseless and endless attacks, including the burning down of his family house. But right now, Ikenga speaks more about Rivers, okay? Because it's PDP with Fubara. I'll leave that. My time is almost fast spent. Again, I still have a lot to share. Somebody was asking for Hitman earlier. Hitman is now has taken place, taken the place of Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, Agbori Babaoja, the former special advisor to Bokohari on condolences visits, burial arrangements, and trader money. Minus trader money. Hitman is now known as the special advisor to Thiefnubu on a condolences visit. Go and check all the headlines. He's there visiting all the dead people, as Thiefnubu sent him, right? The man that told Pastor Ruga that he was better off selling ice cream today is a better off sugarcane seller, if not worse. He's a special advisor to Thiefnubu right now on condolences visits, burial arrangements, and God knows other useless position currently. It's almost like non-existent. But we saw him last Friday, where he went to. That was yesterday. To believe that his own case is even worse than that of Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu. But we'll leave Hitman to his own fate, by the way. And let's take a very quick detour to Kano. Brethren, remember that in Kano State, where they are supposed to have the Emir of Kano, now, you see the one on the right was installed to spite Goodluck Ebere Jolantan to avoid jail. Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was being investigated for fraud as the Central Bank of Nigeria governor. A man that was accused of mismanaging over 100 billion naira as the CBN governor. When it was time for his arrest, he heard the hints. He quickly, right, raised an alarm and said that there was billions of dollars missing, crude oil money. There was no money missing. But with that, the APC, Ebekebe Layamo, and the rest, they took on it, and it became a very big scandal. Ebere Jonathan sacked him. And when he was about to be arrested, right, Kwakwansop of Kano decided to quickly make him, based on the advice of Elruffy, the Kaduna Little Finger, they quickly made him an emir. You can't arrest emir of Kano without incurring the wrath of the northerners. Ebere Jolantan had to backtrack. That was how this guy, who was never part of the nominees for the position of emir of Kano, became emir of Kano. Then in that same insubordination, he kept on looting, because that's what Gandola, the Babanriga Mobile Banking CEO of Kano, said about him. He was emir who was spending money like he owes nobody any accountability. He is as corrupt as any of those people he condemns. So he started shooking his mouth in Gandola's business. And Gandola, they thrown him. It was the big thing. They sent him away. And this guy on the left was appointed as Emir of Kano. However, there was not just an emir, there was not just an emirate of Kano. Gandola broke the old emirates into 5, appointed different other emirs to man all those new emirates. No longer one single one anymore. Adobayero, the guy on the left, became the emir for 2.5 years or thereabout. Then APC, Ebekebe, they lost Kano. When they lost Kano, that simply means that the days of Adobayero may be numbered. The guy whose political party finally reclaimed Kano, NNPP, is Kwakwansop Rabiu. Rabiu Kwakwansop and his own political godson of Stuji, who became governor, Yusuf Abba, decided to undo everything Gandola did. And that includes the closure of the 5 emirates created by Gandola. And they returned Sanusi Lamido Sanusi as Emir of Kano. Before then, he's been parading himself as Emir, but Emir without any palace. So this controversy lasted for like a whole year. So it ended up in court. An appeal court ruled yesterday, by the way, that the reinstatement of Sanusi was illegal. The removal of Adobayero was illegal. Therefore, Adobayero is the emir of Kano. Before now, I thought they've shared this position where the guy in red, Sanusi on the right, is the emir of Kano admin, while Adobayero, the guy in white, right, on the left, is considered as emir of Kano Academy. The appeal court disagrees, saying there is no emir of Kano admin or emir of Kano Arcade. There is only one emir of Kano, and that emir of Kano is Adobayero. So who is the emir of Kano right now? Adobayero or Sanusi Lamido Sanusi? I think it's going to end up in the Supreme Court. That is what will finally settle it. Because the Kano state government, under Abba Yusuf, says they will not deal with Adobayero as emir. He's been dethroned. They said Adobayero was never to be an emir in the first place. Okay. And yesterday, Jumat, true to the words, it seems that everybody is backing Adobayero now. Have you seen this? They finish. They are all products of politics. Don't ever forget that. The stool of the emir of Kano has become so desecrated, right? That a lot of myth seems to have been demystified. So right now, at Ijaw, at Ilamido, all of them will end up in Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court of injustice of that contraption will determine who is the emir of Kano. Because after that, you will have to take your case to God. Allah. You get? Now, talking about Allah. Yesterday, Peter Obi was seen with the Islamic faithfuls, the Muslim mullah or the Muslim Umar in Oka, where he broke a fast with them, you know. And he said he's always been like doing that, even when he was the governor of Anambra State. So yesterday, this supposed Muslim Umar shared their personal experience with this Peter Obi when he was governor. And now, watch this.
Let me show you the inside of the mosque.
I will never tell lie. God is with me. I will never tell lie. Whatever I say, hereafter I will go and say it again. If I say anything against him that he didn't done it, I know God will not blame me for whatever will be. One, they say Mr. Peter will be demolish mosque. What I noticed is Mr. Peter will be build mosque for us. I believe Mr. Peter will be build mosque at Onisha, where then people are trying to demolish that mosque. He used his money to renovate it. Then they are accusing him of making the Northerners ID card. That when we get ID card before we leave in another state. That is total lie. If you are talking about that one, you go and ask about Imo or Ijaw dead. That is where the government of that particular area arrested some of people about 8 or 9, which they put them in prison direct. From that particular week, they said that no any northerner will move without ID card, without his number. That is not Anambra State. We live in Anambra State freely. We move freely. Nobody said anything about that. Today is the 4th time Mr. Peter will be here. This is the 4th time. 2 times. The first one, the year end of his government. He came here with President Hussein. I can remember the last year. He was at London at the America. The ABC called me. They said they are going to plan that breaking fast with us. I told him that now it is late because it is after 5. Before I called on it and the Navy, it will be late. And today is the last day we're expecting our Ramadan will finish. So if the Ramadan finish today, then we expect Salah visit. If we will do it tomorrow, then I will let you plan because it's not hard for us to meet. Luckily to us, the person, unfortunately to him, he never participated. I know he wasn't happy then, but we were happy that we finished our puzzle. I have to tell you that Mr. Peter will be always pray. This is the man. Only God knows where he's going, but we are hoping to go where we want him to go. And it's for progress for us. Gubernatorial candidate in history of Anambra that visit our mosque 4 different times. You visit us during your tenure as the governor of Anambra State. We spend more than 2 hours with you. We breakfast, we spend more than 2 hours from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock. We are here together with you. There's not any presidential candidate in history of Nigeria that visit us here apart from you. Saying that we sponsor some people to pilgrimage.
I say, Musa Bello Shere, I am one of your beneficiaries. You sponsored me 2013 to Saudi Arabia. You are the one that makes me to Bokohari. Whenever you call my name, Alhaji Musa, the first person that will come in my mind, you are the one because of you are the one that sponsored. We cannot forget you. Anywhere you are, we are there. We have not any party. You are our party. Anywhere you are, we are there. It's not a politics, it's a reality. It's not a politics, it's a reality. There's no any single candidate that is supposed to be presidential candidate or president governor that is our boss. You are only a person. So anywhere we are together with us. Our country.
The reason why you have to see that video is because the man that started the rumor that Peter Obi hated the Northerners was no other person than Elruffy, the same evil Kaduna little finger. He was the one who said that Peter Obi was arresting Northerners in Anambra. He also said Peter Obi insisted that Northerners must go about with an identity card issued to them by Anambra. And some people are surprised too that there is a huge mosque in Oka. There are mosques in Igbo land. From Imo to Abia, to the same Anambra, to Enugu, straight to Ebonyi, you will see mosques. And these mosques, there are Muslim faithfuls who are practicing their religion there, unhindered, what do you call it, no discrimination and what have you. But unfortunately, that's not how your politics work in that contraption, right? So you just have to see how many of these lies you can create and see how many people will buy it. So the reason why Elruffy continues to spread as many bigoted, rhetorics against the Easterners, especially Obi, is mainly for politics as well as, the known generational hatred, which nobody seems to have an idea the origin of it. So when you see them come out to say, they enjoyed this, they enjoyed that, blah, 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 blah. Well, somehow it may just be nothing to some of you, but it is huge to others who probably believe all the lies since they do not have any alternative information, so to say. That's why I share that with you. In Ekoma, it's a different ball game. Where, 2 days ago, a young man was shot and killed somewhere in Edo State by the police, and they ran away. Yesterday, it was the turn of some women who decided to, I wouldn't know how this whole thing happened, but with what we captured, when the women decided to possibly push back, I think they put their hands on these police officers in Ekoma. And then the officers also started beating them, women. It all happened so fast with no context, right? Let me share this with you. There's something about the Edo people. And I don't know if it is genetic or so, right? They are naturally fearless. I have seen few of that. Anyway, because I have used most of my time, I am thinking we should probably call it a day now, a course. Okay. So those of you might want to add one or two to this convo. Okay, before that, here is somebody who just cried out, right? From their own shop in Onitsha. You know, they call it, is it called after bridge? I've been an overhead bridge or something like that. All those markets after the second Niger bridge. This person says that NAFDAC came to their shop, raided their shop, found nothing, but left them this way. Watch this.
See the name of my shop. See address. See the address. See the address. See the address. See it. This is my shop. You people should come, please. See it. See it. I'm tired. You people should come on. You people should come. You people should come. You people should come. Government help me. Government help me. Shaman of Ogun. You people should do something. You people should do something. You people should do something. See my shop. 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 Government people should come see my shop. See my shop. See my shop. People should come see my shop. Government has dealt with me. See my shop. Everything has gone. 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 This point, see my shop. Everything has gone. Everything has gone. These are you people should help me. Everything has gone. These are you people should help me. Oh, NAFDAC has rooted my shop. 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 See 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 my shop. NAFDAC has rooted my shop. Oh, this is where I make my money. NAFDAC has rooted my shop. All my clothes has gone. 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 What does the boutique got to do with drug? What does boutique got to do with NAFDAC people? Government come for. Government should come to my aid. NAFDAC has rooted my shop. Look at NAFDAC has rooted my shop. Look at NAFDAC. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. This is where I make my ends meet. NAFDAC has.
I mean, the question I was asking myself was that waiting concern NAFDAC with boutique. Did they find drugs in the boutique and they decided to loot the shop or what? I mean, I don't get it. And that is why you need to always remember the only thing that is democratic about the contraption called Nigeria is the shege, the injustice, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are young or old, male or female, doesn't matter. Development may never reach you. You may never benefit from, the government policies per se. But I promise you, you will partake in the democratization of shege that you have in that contraption. Everybody will collect it. And that is what a country without a rule of law, that is what it is like every day. You see, those of you who escape today, tomorrow may be your turn, or day after, or day after, or the day after that. Every day, Nigeria continues to claim its victims. Unfortunately, that is our own turn. I'm waiting for my own turn. As long as this contraption continues to exist, we are all going to get our own share, directly or indirectly. I'll leave it at that. I'll see you some other time. So what will happen now is that we are going to take a short break. I'll come back and take calls, even if it's just going to be for the next, how many minutes? Half an hour before we go to bed tonight. You might have one or two things to say. We're over 2,000 earlier on YouTube, but we are struggling to have 500 people with their own offerings. So we can take the like to at least over 1,000. If 1,000 says, no, we're not liking, there should be 1,000 that would say, yes, I love this, then like the broadcast. You should be one of those 1,000 that would say, we love it. So like the broadcast, okay? And if you do have one or two things to add to this conversation tonight, all you have to do is just grab your phone. The number is on your screen. Use it, right? Thank you so much, Kinsley. Thanks for that, my, what do you call it? My coffee. So that's for coffee, right? Thank you. So I will be back in a minute or two. Don't go anywhere if you still want to call in.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Forget about it. I have my first caller on the line. Hello there.
Yeah, hello, my good general.
Hello, sir.
The general himself.
Yes, sir. How are you, Baba?
I'm good, I'm good. It's Wilson from Italy.
That's Wilson. It's good to hear from you,
Yeah.
Baba. Thanks so much for calling
Yes.
in. Please.
Yes, so my brother, you have been trying. You, at least you are educational, that you are giving us Nigerians as well. That is, in fact, sometimes if I don't listen to you, it's like I'm missing something. Something is happening to me because It's too pathetic that what is happening in Nigeria is happening and people are keeping short. Look at that little girl. Look at what he's passing through. The girl is even tired. You see how they bully people. They bully people. They don't even know what they're doing again. Look at what the girl is. Just the little, not even insult. It's polite insult. Now he give the Mr. President. Now they want to kill. This girl should be protected. Though. No matter what we are saying, this girl should be protected because these people can go at any length to make sure that they harm her.
Invasion of her privacy simply because she filled a form with the NYSC. That somebody had to pick a number and threaten her.
I'm threatening her. This is what has been happening.
Consequences for that. But it's
man. It's Nigeria now, you know now. This can't happen in a Western world. How can somebody because of somebody said what is paining her? What is paining her? So we are not free. You are not free. We are on chain. We are not free for anything. They say you have a freedom of speech. But after speech, your freedom is in fact you don't have your freedom anymore after speech. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. They have gogged the media. Even television station cannot even say the truth anymore because Tinubu, I continue saying this because of one man want to be president of Nigeria. That is why all of us will be kneeling down or being chained because of one man want to be a president of Nigeria. This guy has been planning to be president of Nigeria for 32 years, and after he got it. As he got the president, now the people must die because the people must be unalive because he want to be president. Look at what is happening. Look at Wike. Who give Wike this impetus of what he's doing now? Look at because you're a governor. Wike become a governor, then nobody have ever been governor before him. Look at the way he's talking about Peter, all the past governors. Let me remind Nigeria, Wike stole no less than 5 trillion of River State money. If people don't know it. If Delta State man can thief or they say he thief 1.5 trillion, then that means Wike thief 5 trillion. That's what it's supposed to be because this man keep on tormenting the people, keep on showing the people you can't do anything. He pays the judges. He knows the judges because his wife. He knows what. I don't understand Nigerian people. Like nobody wants to.
That's why somebody like Wike will keep thriving. You know.
Go
on.
Look at what he's doing now. Everybody can see what he's doing. The only thing I would advise
you want to
people
wreck your own states, right? Because of politics, that people can go and suffer, right?
He doesn't
get
care.
Judgment to stop the allocation of the state when you know that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are going to actually suffer it. But he didn't care.
He doesn't care. But the only thing I will tell the governor, I don't support any of them. But because of what they are doing, I will tell the governor that assembly they can't do anything. They can't do nothing. If they do, stop.
Currently now they seem to be on the run. You get what I mean? Like they are not sitting.
Yes, now they can't do nothing. If they do anything, that you make this state ungovernable for anybody. You make even Nigeria be ungovernable. Because if these boys enter crypt now and start busting the pipeline, I think Tinubu himself will. I think he will open his eye because all these things they are doing, going to one judge to get one enjoyment for one thing or the other. I don't understand. Do you know one thing do you know one thing I love today? You see, Elruffy that plan all this election. You see what he said? He see what he said? He said that they know that Tinubu is drug dealing in Chicago. They know he's certificate. They knew about it. They just want to support him to become the president. Mayogu, do you know what I'm saying today? If David Hunda is still wherever he is. Now Trump is the president of America. We should go and ask FBI to give us that thing. They should publish it. Let Nigerians see. Let the whole world know who is Tinubu. Let the whole world know. Now they can get it, not during Biden, because Biden government is bent head to destroy Nigeria. But today, I thank God that Donald Trump is the president of America. We shall open Tinubu everything. I think they said is American asset. That one is number one. Then we should show Nigeria what he have done. Let me give other people a chance to speak. Thank you and God bless you.
Yes, sir. Let me take another one indeed, okay? Thanks so much for your contribution. Here is the Prince Jejema, representing
IPOB for life.
That is him. How are you, the Prince?
Right there. Are you?
Well, I'm very well. It seems like you are free this weekend. I heard you yesterday.
Yeah.
You are again today. What's going on?
Yes, so it's a privilege to be on your channel, Baba.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure is mine. You know, please.
Yes. You see, where the area I want to touch is about this visit of the bishop to the United States.
To the U.S. Congress. Okay.
To the U.S. Congress, yes. It's a very good move. It's a very, very, very good move. You know, when you were present, you said that Nigeria was not on the list. You see, Nigeria is in a state of ICU, intensive care unit. Their own case is a special case. You get what I mean?
I'm with you.
Nigeria do not need all this sanction. What Nigeria needs is a total breakup. And the world knows that we are not compatible. Nigeria is not compatible with this kind of arrangement, the way it is. You understand?
I'm with you.
So that's what I figure out there. They are waiting. They are preparing a special soup for Nigeria. You know, and when that soup is finally done, everybody will know that Nigeria is an abomination. You know, that I'm telling you the truth.
Battle launch.
Yes, you know, because the thing that we should be getting ready for is this: the international community. You know, we show the awareness is for them to know what is happening, so that when the breakup starts, nobody will claim ignorant of what is happening.
No, they can't.
You understand?
The bishop, right, said something yesterday that if at the end of the day, the indigenous people, especially the Christians as well, decided to fight, decides to fight back, and it leads to a civil war. Out of 200 and something million people, reported population of Nigeria, if now only just 5 million alone decided to leave and bombard the neighboring countries, they will wreck those countries because those countries don't have resources to take Nigerians, Nigerian refugees in. That's what he said.
Exactly.
And I quite agree, because it's going to get to that stage whereby people would fight back. It's just a matter of time. You know, all this talk. Not that people are not fighting back. It's just that it hasn't gotten to that large scale to be noticed generally. You get what I mean? So if anything, the West, even the refugee will reach UK. The refugees will reach America. When everything
that one a short banker.
So we're asking them to let us break up easily right now. Support those who are championing the referendum that people should decide if they still want to be part of this contraption or not. But the longer they continue, the more they continue to ignore this call, right? Well, the uncertainty, right?
Secondly, Baba,
the implosion will be. But go on, Prince.
So secondly, Baba, you know, what that bishop missed in his speech is that he's supposed to include Nandekan, who is a Christian. You know, his incarceration is a Muslim or terrorist organization in Nigeria that is keeping him. You understand? It's religious primacy also. Because if he's a Muslim, if Nandekan is a Muslim, he will not be there.
No, it won't be treated.
They are releasing Bokohari. They are releasing Boko Haram, and they are incarcerating him.
Yep.
So and then now they kind of started that fight from the north for liberation of the north. You get what I mean? Before even talking about Biafra, you get what I mean? Then this Natasha also issue, you see, this sexual harassment is an epidemic issue in Nigeria. You know, if that Nigeria has have a good Senate that human being are there, yeah, they should take that matter serious, and this will help to limit a lot of sexual harassment going on in Nigeria and even rape on daily basis. I get him, including the army, the police. They are involved in all these things. But now that they are keeping quiet, it's like now that they are keeping quiet, covering up, is like they are giving all the perpetrators the enablement or the grant to continue and to make it in a more larger scale. You get what I mean? You know, so it's in fact it's devastating. But let's keep on to watch. I know that everything will end up in disaster for them. You understand?
When the center
so
thank you. Thank you so much, Prince Jejeman. Right? I am going to take another one. But just a quick context to what you said to our viewers who probably are wondering, oh, you mean Nnamdi Kanu once fought for the North? The killings in the North before he started even pushing the Biafra. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 12 years
he was fighting for that exactly. Thank
12 years ago, Nnamdi Kanu, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Nnamdi Kanu, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government, to the High Commissioner, that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the international community for peace. The one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing. Oh, yeah, do I call? Oh, Mary, one in this one in Abakare, Mama Bawora, Ulapuri, Mary, Nandi, win the war. Python, that's one, Python, that's two, not Python, that's a three. Ulapuri, Mary, Nandi.
That is a brother. How you doing, sir?
Good. All hail Biafra. All hail Oduduwa.
All hail Biafra.
Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Go on, man.
Yes. Free all the freedom fighters that's fighting to make that place a better place. Free the young women, the young kids, the young up-and-coming future in that contraption, free all of them. Because I've never felt so like, oh my God, I feel like tearing up right now after watching that video of that young girl that you just played earlier. This is a testimony of what's coming. This is a testimony of what's coming. There's thousands and millions of young girls like her and women, young men like her that's coming, that's frustrated, that's been deprived of everything, the necessity. They are going to break that country up. It's just to show you this contraption. Everyone that's in that contraption in government key spots, they're all playing a role of keeping everyone down. So the young girl can complain and express her frustration about what's happening to her and how her future is being mortgaged.
They are not allowed to.
And someone is calling her to take it off. This is just a blip of what's coming. How can I say, the calm before the storm. This is what is about to come. And this time around, they cannot control it or stop it. You know? And I keep urging everyone that's here today, listen to Mayagu every day, day in and day out, spilling his guts out with the truth. Hours of putting things together to present to us daily, you know, to please take time to spread this word around so others can see what is our biggest problem. We all are abroad right now, right? We're all abroad. We work maybe 2-3 jobs so we could be able to now support people back home from all this hell that they're going through, you know? I can't take this anymore. Like, this has got to stop. We must break this place up. It is destroying our men, our women, everything, you know? And we here abroad, stuck out here, you know? We're paying taxes, doing everything, you know? And we can't even go back home. We don't have a place called home because we let illiterates lead us, you know? And they're doing anything and anything for power. Criminals, beyond criminals. You know, I'm so emotional today, Mayagu.
I can feel you, man. I can feel you.
Man, your show has touched me. You know, please, people, I hope you feel the way I'm feeling right now. We need to join together, put our differences aside, and break this thing up. It's killing.
It is.
It's killing people.
Nigeria is
I just got a phone call today.
Goes to die. That is exactly what it is, where young people have dreams. You know, they used to tell us that your dream is valid. What do you want to become when you grow up? I want to be this, I want to be that. They say your dream is valid. Not anymore in that contraption.
No.
It's now a place where dream goes to and die, unfortunately. Thank you so much for calling in, okay? You know, all this.
Thank you, Mayagu.
I appreciate you.
Yes.
Talking about, okay? You have a very good one, bro. A very good one.
Please hit the like button, people. Hit the like button, subscribe. Come on, make some donation.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, man. So here, I think I have another caller here on the line. Dami, I believe. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir. Yes, I can hear you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Fantastic. And good evening to you too. Baba, please.
Yeah, it's been a while, but then it's for the good.
At least.
So, yeah, so for me, I've listened to all you've been saying since, and some of the things that piqued my interest are, first of all, the Elruffy issue. I just think something is not right with that man setting up a new party, and, you know, I believe Nigerians have this selective amnesia about,
and they are very intentional about it too. You know,
I don't know.
Amnesia. Like, you're right.
Elruffy has always been a questionable character in one way or the other. So deceptive, and also, why would you then believe he's going to be a savior? You know, setting up a new party and doing anything for that matter. So I beg,
Like somebody like that,
Elruffy.
for for all reasons, right? Somebody like that should never be allowed to get closer to power again. With the atrocities he committed, this guy was supposed to be standing trial in Hague, just like a Bokohari and many others like them. But if he's now rebranding himself, suddenly like he now cares about the people. He's now angry that some people are, basking in the euphoria of impunity, where everybody is just doing like whatever they like. He is now on the side of the people. Like, what the heck, man?
I mean,
just less than 2 years ago,
that should be the comedy of the year. Elruffy now with the people. But then we're in Nigeria, everything goes. And just like one,
where people can easily just like whitewash you. They whitewash you and say, so it's politics, Gary, because they are not direct victims of peace. You know that?
Yeah, and this reminds me of what someone said that David Unden should start work again so that Donald Trump will release the details of. I mean, what is there to release? Are we saying we don't know who this guy is?
Last time, what did we do with it?
Well, I mean, so you are going to release it and nothing is going to happen. So what is there to release? Can we just get serious?
Joke.
Let's get serious, Jerry. If we are ready to take things up, let's take it up and do it the right way. Not say we're always looking for savior. David Unden should do this. I mean, please. And the third thing would be this lady. Well, I want to tell her, welcome to Nigeria. the lady, the NYC lady.
The Gen Z lady who was surprised that she expressed her own frustration only to get more frustrated. They are threatening her that they are going to cancel her NYSC. I say, so serve Nigeria is not by force, is it?
She should just man up and welcome to Nigeria. Some of us have faced even worse things, trying to speak up for ourselves or for the people. So I won't say she should keep quiet, keep talking and express yourself. Calling Tinubu terrible is not even if it's an insult. Now today they insult person. Even if it is, now today they abuse president. I've watched UK Parliament, I've watched US Congresses. These things happen. They use some languages that you would even ask yourself, why are these people saying these things? You can't even say half of these things in Nigeria. So, but then it's all about the age. Yeah. They always forget foolish people also grow old. I mean, well, finally, Jare, I've been trying to reach out to you, but in a way, I've not been able to. I just want to get to you personally on some things. I might be entering that side like in April. So,
you come my area.
Yeah, so I was just looking for a way to
as a big man visiting.
Visiting for now, but I have not.
Thank God for your life. All right, like when we say, thank God that you don't look like what you have been through. Okay, so I mean, it will be an honor to have somebody like you around and say hello. If you by any chance come down to Glasgow.
Yeah, I should be around in April. So I'm just looking for a way to. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I am going to possibly, check this line, all right? And if there's anything you need that I could be of help of, all right? So I would keep in touch, okay? So I'll check my message after this.
Okay.
Stay safe, man, okay? And send you well to the missus, all right?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mike. Have a good one.
So I have here Sir Sunday. Hello there.
Hello, how are you doing today, my name?
I am very well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Very well.
Class. And thanks so much for calling in again tonight. I remember yesterday when you said something about us not being too direct and all that, right? Somebody took that literally and said, no, we have to. But again, you were trying to call back in yesterday. I saw that, but there was no time. But here you are now. How you doing?
Okay, thank you. For security reason, I'm gonna change my name to Reverend because of next time. Okay.
Right. So I'm going to be calling you Rev. I mean, sorry, Reverend.
Reverend.
Right?
Yes. So yeah, that was my code name.
That's right.
Just about the people that went to the Congress yesterday to the US talk about the killing in Nigeria.
Yeah, the killings of Christians and persecution and all that stuff. Yep. Go on.
Yeah. There are three things, Michael. There are three ways to make a change. 3 ways to make a change. The first one is to identify the problem. Second is to raise an awareness, and third is to make the change. Okay. Yeah. So everyone have a role to play. So, but at least now, these people they have taken the awareness now to the Congress. So they won't say they didn't know. So at least let that awareness now play its role about the killing in Nigeria, because it's just too much. It's too much. That day I forgot to tell you that these things doesn't mean nothing until it happen close to home. You know that the people that were adopted in Ogwashuku affected me. There was somebody on among them that was from my village.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So sorry, man.
Then I came to find out something, my brother Mayego. I came to find out that there was a video that they sent out for these people to go and rescue them. I don't know if you saw the video.
Okay.
But when I called the village, they said no. They said it's propaganda, that they have already paid the ransom. That was just a propaganda. Okay. So that's one. Then 2, about the young lady that was crying today, the what's it called? The NYC girl. Yeah. Yeah. You see, the Bible said that things work out for good for those that love the Lord. Why am I saying this? Now that video now, the Nigerian government now have just showed themselves on their foot again, because that video have revealed again. This girl was able to be tracked in 24 hours. In 24 hours, they tracked her, know where she was, and call her. But you and I know that they cannot track this so-called Boko Haram, these terrorists.
No, they don't have the facility to do that. But they have wants to citizens say something about government.
Yeah. So the point is that they have just shot themselves in the foot again, that they know that they are part of this terrorism in Nigeria. Okay. My last comment is this, Mayego, about this Peter Obi dining with the North. I don't know how well he knows the history of these people, the Northerners. And when we say the North, we're talking about the Fulanis. These people, they operate on a belief system. And that system, nobody can change it. They operate on that system. They are bad with that. They are bad with that system. And that's, as far as they're concerned, that system is higher than any constitution they can find. I don't know if I'm making sense. So I don't know how. I don't know how this is going to play out with Peter Obi going to dine with them. I don't know, but I hope he works out.
He's a politician, and I think he himself knows that it would have to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And here we have the most ugly of them all. So he should know what he's up to himself. Even if you and I can't really fathom what is this all about, he can, I believe. Reverend.
The that I know, as far as their belief system is concerned, they are just using this guy. That's how I can tell you. But again, let's hope and let's hope. Time with okay, so that's my
so
that's what I wanted to say.
All right.
Tonight.
You have a very good
God bless
one.
you,
Okay?
sir.
Bye-bye.
You
So
too.
I have another caller on the line.
So
our time is now quickly coming to an end. It goes so fast than you can imagine sometimes, okay? And listen, I remember using most of the time, which means I also like it's deep into the phone in hour. So I am going to give us an extra maybe 10 minutes, okay? So that we can balance it up. But here is Elder Theo. Theo Oniyede.
Hello, Maegun.
Baba. How are you, sir?
How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very well, oh. It's good to hear from you again. And thanks so much for yesterday. I got my coffee, you know, my cup of coffees from you as well.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you so much
That's
for the
fine.
support.
You are always welcome.
God bless you for me.
How's the family doing over there?
Oh, we are doing great, you know. And we are still with that memory that we both made Houston. Agbeke won't stop talking about it. He won't stop talking about you, by the way. Like, she won't stop. She's like, you see that man that just spray me money, like, you know. I was like, that's Theo. Good to hear from you again,
at least we made her to feel who we are. We made her
she
to
won't
feel,
stop talking about all of
feel
you.
belonging.
I know she won't. And now I think it's going to be difficult for me to say I'm going to the US alone.
Without
She's
her.
going to be like, you're going to go have all the fun alone, kind of. She's talking about everyone, you know.
Yes,
so thank you so
yes,
much.
sir.
Always, like, thank you.
You are
I always say
welcome.
that.
You are
So
welcome.
thank you, sir.
And we give God all the glory for joining Mercy back to
All the
Scotland.
glory. That's right. Thank you
Yeah.
too, Baba.
You
Here we are
Yeah.
again on the
my
happenings from the contraption. Like
The contraption.
Hmm.
Maegun,
Baba.
what else can we say? Now I'm beginning to, I don't even know what to say about the people of that country, about all the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Hausas, and nearly everybody apart from Fulanis and the people in the government. You see, sometimes I look at the situation of that country. Most of us over here, we felt so, we felt so much
strong
about them. We feel for them, but they don't feel for themselves. You know, at times we have pity on them, but it's like, I mean, what concerns them about us? That is what they are
sorry
looking
for us, kind of.
Yes. So because look at the people in River State. Look at what they are doing. Everybody knows what Wike has done to them. And look at it now. They are all shouting in supporting of Wike.
That's right.
And that means if by tomorrow Wike comes back to become governor of River State, it's going to win. It's going to win.
It's a third term. It seems
If
like
there's a third term,
he has them under his thumb.
If there's a third term, and I just don't know. Once these people get 1,000 naira with 2 dirhams
It
of
is
a
called
rice.
weaponization of poverty.
Weaponization.
I know.
Weaponization. And it's like we are getting tired of all these things because we keep shouting, we keep telling them, and still same thing. Same thing is repeating itself.
One day could be one day. Like Fela sang it. One day could be one day. One day.
And
one day.
then another thing, Maegun, is I'm looking at the so-called Yoruba land, and I'm beginning to be scared. Scared in the sense of seeing what these Fulanis are doing, and nobody's, challenging them. Nobody is talking, and they keep doing what they are doing.
Because
Day
the
in,
people
day
that are
out.
supposed to do this for us have chosen to remain quiet. Like they are scandalously or criminally silent. And we all know why. It is unfortunate. So that means when people want to fight back, our fight shouldn't just be to go after the Fulanis. Our fights will be for those who kept quiet while these marauders are wreaking havoc in our land.
In our land.
Sir,
doing all
when
sorts
you
of
go
things.
after the Fulani terrorists, the first set of people that will come after you, they are mostly the same people, your own people.
Your
You see
own
that
people,
the
yeah,
criminal
exactly.
politicians in our own land will defend them by coming after us, labeling us, troublemakers. So if we want to get rid of these terrorists, we must also have it at the back of our mind that we must be planning to get rid of those saboteurs among us too, holding political offices. So it must be very strategic.
In fact, we have to, because we have a long way to go with this, with the situation in that country. God will help us. I mean, because at the end of the day, that is the prayer of we should help ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Because Allah Magbawa, God will God has done his own part.
We have to.
No, he has done his own part. It is left for us to do our part.
We shall see. Elder.
We shall see.
Thank you so much. Okay, for
my regards to everybody over there.
They will hear you. They shall hear everything. Okay. Thank you so much. And say me well to the missus as well. Especially, madam. Tell her I said hello. If she's watching us, we are just please.
So she's not at home right now. I will surely tell her.
Okay. You have a good one. Okay. Thank you, sir. So that's Elder Theophilus Onijide from Houston. You know, a very good man. Somebody was asking about charm. And I think people are, usually on Mayogun's Diary Political, there are regular callers that people have become so used to. People who have built their own personalities, right, out of this platform because of their positions on issues, which has made them pretty much like, celebrities too. We do have our own in-house celebrities here. So Charm, I actually saw Charm calling in earlier. I don't think she'll be able to get on tonight because of the time. We have just about 10 minutes to go now due to the delayed time. But let me take this. If I get Charm, you keep trying, okay? Keep trying, ma'am. Maybe your fans can hear from you because you have people who are already asking for you. So, and if you can't get through, please, maybe you should say hello to them in the comments. They've been asking. Here is another caller. Hello there.
Finally, I made it.
Yes, finally you made it, man. How you doing?
What's going on, boss?
Same old, and
boss, my guy, political. The only place smart people get their news. We're so lucky.
Say it again, man. Thank you so much.
I tell you. Yeah, let me shoot straight to the, just the right. I'm trying to point out something. These northerners will always come on, they go on air and say, oh, we fought for democracy. We had Abacha, we had Babangida, we had all these crazy northerners that actually ruled as military, dictator in Nigeria. But after the democracy, the northerners will always come and say, oh, we fought for democracy and all of that. I can't remember any northerner that actually fought for democracy in that country. Maybe my memory is short. Maybe
few. There was a guy called Balarabe Musa. That's the one I can remember offhand right now. There were few who joined in Nadeco days. But you know something? This fight for democracy of the thing itself is questionable, Baba. Because listen,
absolutely,
when you look at those who claim to be fighting for democracy at the time, right? And then when they finally got it, that means they chased the military back to the barracks. These guys have turned out to be undemocratic elements. Like, look at all their antecedents. Look at all their characters. They're even worse than this military that they told us was worse. So at the end of the day, we fought for democracy. We fought for this democracy. Like, which democracy? The one that continued to enslave people, impoverish them, take away all their rights. Come on. I don't well, that's for me, because I don't see anybody, I don't see this reward or the benefit of them fighting for democracy if our people are still living more
democracy
like slaves.
The one we have is it's a mess. We don't have democracy. We're still running on that
democracy. It doesn't make any sense.
We just wouldn't fool ourselves. Secondly, that guy that went to the US to went to the Congress and I just love how he actually was able to present his presentation, whichever way he presented it. What happened to Oyedepo? What happened to Abioye? What happened to all?
The same questions, all right? Nigeria,
whoever that is following these people, they are part of the problem. How would I keep saying? I think I told my wife some couple of days ago. I said these people, they have so much power, and they deliberately, because they are part of the establishment, they refuse to do nothing. They deliberately just want to see people
like Baba. They are killing Christians in Nigeria, especially northern Nigeria. Baba. And these guys will never do pim. And every Sunday people Kaduna, he went to Kaduna to go and praise Littlefinger. He was a good man. During the heat time, or when they are slaughtering people almost every day in Southern Kaduna, he went there.
I grew up in Southern Kaduna. I spent 20 years in Kaduna. I clearly can remember what the crazy thing the man said the last time he went there. It's so sad.
It is.
When I look at this whole thing, I see people go to these churches. I said, look, can you read between the lines and stop following these people? Because look at it. If you look at the Bible, when God even called the Israelites, I can't remember when God called Yoruba, called Igbo, or called the Israelites, and called other tribes. He only called one tribe. Why do we? I don't know if I'm making any sense. Why do we?
You are, but a lot of people will disagree with you because they see themselves as Israelites too.
Why I'm actually bringing it up is because these people are religious leaders now. They should be able to read the Bible and understand it. God never brought people together. He only chose the Israelis and said, okay, this is how I want you to live your life. Can't we just be as Yoruba people and said, let us go our way and live our life the way we should?
The question we keep asking ourselves.
Yes, they should also replicate what is in the Bible and let everybody just go their way and just be happy. Is there anything wrong about that?
Nothing is wrong.
Another thing, that the girl that cried out, the NYC girl that cried out, you can see how they lead these girls into horrible things. Just imagine that girl cried out. Now, we heard how she was able actually to say her pain. We actually could see the pain in her.
People do even, I don't think the society, right? The society itself is sort of accommodating of people expressing themselves. It's a society where you are expected to be pretending. She said it. She said everybody is acting rich. Right? While they are going through hell. People collecting salaries, right? And they are blowing it within a day or two due to this inflation. So how can people...
Her courage is so amazing that she could come out there and say what is in her mind. That girl could just go on the street and sell her body and, and she'll be good. And she'll act like every other person that, every other person she said. She said, okay, just faking, being rich. It's okay for her to go and do that. I'm not even going to say, okay, don't do it. Because if that's the only way you could survive, which is dangerous, I'm not going to say don't do it. But she had that courage and she came up to say things like, it's such... Look,
she didn't see anything out of ordinary.
She didn't say anything crazy.
She didn't see anything
You can see how sensitive. Look, Nigerians are they're actually ready to go at these people's neck. They are ready. But they just don't know how to go about it, Because... if any group of people start this whole crazy thing and said, okay, I want to just, chase these people out, the next minute they'll quench them. The next minute they're shooting at them. The next minute, because we've been so captured in such a way that we can't even Iran, they still have some kind of breathing space.
They still have some pushback, they always do.
Yeah. They can face the oppressor in a way, although it's very tight in Iran, but in a way they can still, few years ago, like about 2 or 3 years ago, just women. A girl, I think she just decided to take off her scarf. And that was what started the protest. They killed the girl, and that was what started the protest.
There. Now I remember, all over the campuses there. At the time.
Sometimes when Nigerians can't fight back, or they're being slow, I really can't, because I don't even know how they're going to stand.
I know. Anyway, Baba, let me take one more, okay? Thank you very much for not giving up. Some people, if they try a few times and they're just like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get through. But you didn't. Thank you so much, okay, for sharing this with us. I'll take my last call now. Oh, I think, that's a charm. Look, you see, in Yoruba, they say, oh, Shomwali, you are not a bastard. You'll be your papa's daughter. Charm, how you doing, ma'am?
Good evening. I'm fine, Michael. Good evening.
Good evening to you. It's good to hear from you again. A lot of people have been asking for you, and it's like you have heard their calls. So here you are.
I've been watching. I've missed everybody. I've been watching. I've been watching and following. To be honest,
even though you haven't called
I just let me keep quiet and be listening and learning. But I think today 2 things just touched me. That young lady, really spoke up and everything.
Serving her And there she is,
graduates,
already frustrated. Like, is this the life I'm going to live?
Is this the life I'm going to live, and everything? And in fact, I think what touched me the most is the tone of the woman who was speaking to her, which is very, very, typical of Nigerians in authority or people in authority, just talking down to people. You're forgetting that this person is a citizen just like you and has the right, as far as that stupid constitution is concerned, to express her disappointment in that government. She's entitled to that right. She should be able to say this is how she feels without anybody threatening her the way she was being spoken to. And that calls to mind exactly what, Dele Farrow to me is always talking about. We haven't defined citizenship in Nigeria, which is why people like her can speak to that young lady the way they spoke to her. Right, with the tone and the no respect, no regard, no nothing.
Dismissal, dismissive approach.
The dismissive tone and
what she said. Like, how dare you? What is wrong
how
with
dare
you?
Speak?
Go and delete it.
Go and delete it. Go and remove it. With such, I don't understand it. And this is what we've experienced with Nigerians in authority, even as young as we were. Just no regard, no, like as a young person, you should have a point of view. You should be able to express how you feel. Do you understand? And to articulate and to know that those feelings are valid.
Should be able to know that and possibly act on it, but not in that context.
And act on it. Let's take note that this is exactly how your people feel. And then let's do something about it. But because we have a government that is intent on punishing the people, or intent on telling Nigerians that they are not citizens, they are not people, they don't have a right to speak. That is why you can have those crazy, women like that talking to that young lady like that. And nothing is going to come of it. Before we know it, police will arrive at her door, all kind of manner of threats will show up for her, without actually looking at the substance of what it is that she's talking about, right? And the other point, because I know it's late, the other point I wanted to talk about was, I think we are praising the bishop who went to the Congress or the American Congress, right?
US Congress,
The US Congress to, talk about what Christians are experiencing, what Nigerians are experiencing in the hands of the terrorists. Because we know they're terrorists. We know they don't Fulani headsmen. They are terrorists. We know that already.
Terrorists. That's right.
They're terrorists, right? That is all well and good. But I've always said it time and time again on this forum that all this time that we go to spend we go to United Nations and we talk to them, we go to the Congress and to talk to them, we go there to talk to do what exactly? What is the expectation of the Congress? What is our expectation of that Congress? How is the Congress supposed to effect any change in that country?
Like mount pressure on the
all right. Let me help.
Then act to protect the vulnerable.
No. Mayego, let me say something. Let me help people understand a little bit of geopolitics. Remember when we talked about where we used to talk about Biden, and then when Trump now came into power and everything, and I think I said on this forum that their geopolitics for the rest of the world does not change, regardless of who is in power. Republicans or Democrats is still the same. What they want, right, is a strong West. The rest of the world be damned. Case in point that we're experiencing right now, that we can see for now, is Syria. Right? If anyone is following exactly what is going on in Syria, you understand that the West and the European Union ensured that Assad was removed from that place. Now, Assad is in Russia on asylum, right? And guess what is happening in Syria? Christians are being killed. The Alawites are being killed. There's another indigenous group of people that are being killed. And the so-called extremists...
As well, just before you continue, mentioning those being killed in Syria, I was reading a report that is presented by the US government as well, right? They said when Assad was there, what's that lady's name again? Tulsi Gabbard, or what's her name again? The one,
Tulsi.
Is it Tulsi?
Tulsi Gabbard,
Gabbard, yeah. So she, back in the day, right, she said the population of Christians in Syria, they put it at 8% or so. And throughout the civil war, where America and the West were trying to remove Assad, like you said, right? They said Assad has been protecting this 8% Christians. Today, the population of Christians in Syria is less than 2% today. So what happened to the others who have managed to run away? Others have been killed. Or continue.
Yes, so all of those people have been killed, right? And they're going to continue to kill them and crucify them. The reason why I bring that up is I was listening to another person who was talking about the same geopolitics of all the rest of the world. When you see countries like that, right, bear in mind that the Muslims in that country never leave places like Syria to go to places like Dubai, go to places like Qatar, to go and say, okay, we're going to make refuge in those places. Neither do those other countries, those let me just call them United Arab Emirates, but you know who I'm talking about. They do not take refugees from Palestine and all of these other places into those places because those people have the capacity to destabilize. They have the capacity to destabilize governments and things like that to ensure that no form of development actually happens in those places, which is what America and the West have ensured that no development goes on in places like Syria. And if development doesn't go on in places like Syria, what it ensures is that no powers will rise up there to threaten them. So they ensure that those places like Libya, right, who they assume was a threat to them, they killed Muammar Gaddafi, and ensured that Libya will never raise its head to be a threat to them. And to be a threat to them, how is if they're able to unite the whole of Africa, right, and change and put Africa on an upward trajectory. That is a problem for them economically, and resource-wise, resource-wise, human resources, mineral resources, in every way, shape, and form, right? We become a threat to them. Now, why I mentioned all of these places, right, is for example, Nigeria. When you're saying that you want them to come and help you, we're exactly where they want us to be. So they're not coming to help you, right? Because you're exactly the way they want you to be. Chaos, right? Poor development. While people are being poorly educated, there is no food. We are hungry. We are dying. There's no form of progress going on. Tinubu was their perfect puppet that they put in place to ensure that Nigeria remains underdeveloped. The situation we have here in Nigeria is exactly the way they want it to be, because then it ensures that we will not pose a threat to them. I believe anyone who thinks that Nigeria is not a threat to, or Nigerians are not a threat to the US, should look at the the indexes of where Nigerians are and their makeup here in the West and abroad. You know that if Nigerians should leave America, leave the West in general, that's going to be a problem. Because one, we're one of the hardest workers. We're one of the people that the trajectory for Nigeria is upward. And if you want to dispute me on that, feel free to do so. But I'm telling you that Nigerians do well when they are here, and they know it, right? So their intent in America, in the West,
they hold
listen,
a very good pedestal, no doubt.
Exactly. So imagine if Nigeria was in an upward trajectory. What is going to happen? Most Nigerians will leave. Most Nigerians will leave the West and come back to Nigeria, right. And that is going to be a problem for them. There will be a gap in the market that only those Nigerians with their intellect and their abilities can fill, and they're not going to come back.
The brain drain. Then Nigeria is suffering brain drain right now. Now the West, who has invested, well, because we can say that again as well, that they invested in these Africans, these Nigerians as well, right? Education, training, this and that. So if everybody should just pack and leave at once, there will be a vacuum, no doubt.
There will be a huge vacuum, exactly. So when people are talking about, we're going to the United States, great, Trump is there and everything. Trump is a great president for America. He's America's president. He's not the president of Nigeria. And the geopolitics is going to remain the same for Africa. His interest is ensuring that Americans live their best lives, right? It doesn't have anything to do with us.
I'm waiting for, right? Do you know the shock I'm waiting for? I remember the time when during the Trump's first term, right? And then Bokohari, who was very sick, right? And was so away. And they needed to sort of polish his image again. So they took him to America with about $1 billion. That was how they bought to Kano this and that too. So Trump, Nigerians were like, this one is a man. This man is fake. It's not real. If you go to America, you will see how Trump is going to expose him. I remember that time very well. Charm. Then when they got to the US, he became cozy with Bokohari because he came with money. And like you said, America first. whatever it is that is even a dictator anywhere, right? America will embrace them, roll out red carpets. Well, the rest of you can go to places in your country.
The rest of
like them.
So I think the reason why I really called today, now aside from that young lady, is let people understand that it is not in the best interest of America or the West to see any African country raise its heads, because that is a problem for them ultimately. Because again, don't forget that we are the ones coming here, filling all these gaps, getting all of this education. They claim that they're training us, but we're the ones doing all the hard work, right? And then you have all your people coming there, and then maybe then one day you have this erudite leader that will come here and change things. All of these Nigerians will go back. That's going to be a problem for them. Right? And then the more educated we are, the more we want to do things for ourselves. They don't want that. I mean, people like David Hudai have done a deep dive into the things that United Nations have, even the caveats that they put in with regards to the things that they give to us, the so-called loans and whatever. Make sure your schools are not underfunded. Make sure that you are not doing such and such. Make sure you're not in the aerospace, the aero industry, because you guys don't, it's not for you. It's out there. All of this information is out there. The kind of things that they make us do. So you have to wonder, why are our universities so why are universities so poor? Right? Why don't we have our own national carrier and things like that? Why are the frustrating things like Peace Airlines and whatever? Why are they doing all of those things? Why have they funded terrorism in Nigeria? Because bear in mind, USAID, because of George, we now know that they funded Boko Haram, Al Qaeda, ISIS, and all of these places. Even though people like Aisha Yusuf don't want to believe that they have been used, but that's what they call it. A topic for another day. But this is what has
right.
Exactly. This is what has happened, right? So let us not look at to the West and say, oh yes, we're here now. They're hearing our voices. Please understand that when we are in this chaos, when we are where we are, as we are Nigerians experiencing what we're experiencing, this is exactly what they want. This is exactly where they want us to be. So we need to start fighting for ourselves, because we don't want to be here. We want to be able to do what we want to do when we want to do. And I also agree that we do need to separate as a people so that we can, have our own identities, develop those identities, and, our own personalities around those identities, nations around those, our identities and things like that, and be what we can be. Because as it is right now, we are not, and we will never be if we continue in this trajectory.
Thank you so much. I could give you all evening, but like you said, it's almost late. We are using an extra time so far, but it's worth it.
Thank you, my girl. I appreciate you for accommodating me, because I know it was really late, but I just thought
yeah, always. I do appreciate your contribution all the time, and our people do that, so they actually appreciate you. So thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the evening, okay? And you have a wonderful one. A wonderful weekend, because it's weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. One more day. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you so much, Chab. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain now, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. We have had our fill. And if you are interested in contributing further to this conversation, remember, you just have to, postpone it to the next time we are on. Dear brethren in the temple of truth, we have delivered today's truth package. And again, whatever you make of it is wholly yours. But thank you for sharing your evening with me, as always. I'm going to see you again some other time. But until then, if you joined us midway, you can rewind this and watch it from the start. But if you have been with us all night, please don't leave without liking the broadcast. Thank you so much. I am going to see you again tomorrow from here. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nàmbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó jódodo.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún dáyàrí náyí bí nọ́mbà wán.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin ti ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni. ó fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.